Hell yeah. What's going on, everybody? Xbox Nation podcast Wednesday. It's before Thanksgiving. We've got quite a good show lined up. A lot to talk about. Don't worry, Mooch Maniacs. Mooch supposedly will be here. That son of a bitch. He's running late. He said he'll be here shortly. He's got some family or something. And when you're Italian and you got family, quote unquote, you never know what to expect. So we'll see that. Hey, She-Wolf, I mean, let me ask you this. You're Canadian, right? So do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
She has to, bro.
I was just curious. I mean,
I live with an Italian-American family. Yeah, they're going to make me celebrate.
That's a sensitivity. Mamma mia.
I kind of have to. I don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, I hear you. So, yeah, Mooch isn't here to actually get introduced, but we have GKB.
Mooch. What's up, bro? What's going on? Doing? I'm doing good, man. I've been cooking a lot today, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Can't wait for that. Love eating food, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Believe it or not, I love eating food too.
I believe it, man.
He made like the greatest drink ever, and I'm not allowed to drink it. And then I'm sick to top it off, so I'm like sitting here drinking peppermint tea instead.
Gross.
Peppermint tea. That sounds lovely.
I love peppermint tea.
Do you? I like, you know what? I was drinking a lot of stuff because, as a lot of people know, I was really sick during the week, and people were like, "Yo, crap, how come you sound better today?" And I'm like, "Man, it's easy, man. I just some warm tea, a little bit of you put some pony tears in there. You got all that stuff. That's what cured me. I'm serious. You know what I mean? It's hard to get those things, but you got to do your best. And
do you have them imported by any chance?
Well, with the amount of pony legs that I break, there's bound to be tears, and so you just you add them in a jar, then you.
Oh, okay. So do
really
you have
good
like
for the throat.
Do you have like a pantry downstairs that you just have like labeled like all these little glass bottles that say like pony tears?
Pony tears
tied up down there.
Exactly.
Oh my god! It's the new Alice thing. You know, like the drink me bottle. Now it can be like pony tears.
Exactly.
I'm going to make that. I'm going to make that.
That's what I live by. But I have a question, She-Wolf. Like, do you do like the Canadian national anthem at your house? You know what I mean? Because
you know
this
what's
is America.
Funny? Okay, first off, you know what's funny about the whole Canadian anthem? I don't even actually know it. Like, I could start it. Like, I've never known it.
Oh,
even,
Canada.
Like,
oh,
yeah,
Canada.
like I know about that just, but I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Like, I really don't. I can go through the whole like. Just saying "Oh Canada," but I can't. I really don't know the whole.
It's "Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, and all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free, from far and wide. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada,
that was a good
we
read,
stand
man.
on guard for thee.
Wow!
Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. You should feel right at home with this. You know what I mean?
I am very surprised. I didn't. Honestly, growing up, I didn't even ever know the whole thing. I never really paid attention to it.
Ace
oh yeah, absolutely. Look, you were sensitive enough to say Italian American, so you get the Canada, you get the "Oh Canada" lyrics. That's how we work.
Is that how that works?
Absolutely.
I like Ace Man's chat there. It's "Oh Canada, get me a beer." That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. And we also have She-Wolf. You're not feeling good, right?
No, not to the full part, but I'll live.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going around. You know what? Because we're all in Florida, so basically what happened was one day it was like 85, and then that night it went down to like 32.
Oh,
and
my
so
God,
like yeah,
everybody died.
Yeah, and everybody's just like, you know what
Fox
I mean?
is sick. She's got a cold.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help. You know what? Hellhammer gets sick, right? And then he asses up my computer keyboard and shit. You know what I mean? He's always like, hey, let me
literally put his ass on it.
No, he just touches it with his grubby finger after he's sick, and he doesn't tell anybody, so I can't wipe anything down. He's like, hey, let me mess with your keyboard.
But if you know he does this, then why don't you just wipe it down after every time he touches it anyway?
I didn't think he was sick. You know, I don't know. Hellhammer, why'd you ass up my keyboard, bro?
Because I could. You could afford a new keyboard.
He's like, crap.
Is that like the whole rubbing your like
Whoa.
pillow on your ass.
No.
I don't like
He
where this
just-
is going.
kind of thing.
Yeah, no. He just touches it and when he's sick or whatever. But Hellheimer, welcome back. I had this whole thing planned out. Me and Hellheimer have been playing a lot of Modern Warfare Remastered, and Hellheimer is the funniest person to play this game with, right? Because he keeps getting sniped in the game, and as you guys know, snipers is a huge problem on that game. Like towards the end of the legit version. On Call of Duty 4 and 360, all these snipers started cropping up, right? And they're like doing these trick shots and no scopes and stuff like this. They're doing that again. And Hellheimer's like, wow. And Mooch will back me up on this. This is how he sounds. Wow, he just no scoped me. Wow, he did it again. Wow. Like this is like, and he goes on like this to the point where you can't breathe because you're laughing. And so he flips out the other day, goes, fine, I'm gonna fucking snipe too. And he puts on a sniper class. He's like, yeah, yeah, best sniper. That's why on Twitter today he was talking about sniping Shiwa. And I was like, worst sniper ever.
Oh, right.
Dude, I was going positive.
He said he was going to nominate himself as game of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean that's weird, but yeah, I mean, well, that's what Hellheimer does. He's weird like that. Here's a true story, right? When I was first playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2, me and Hellheimer used to take turns, and he'd play it and he'd try to snipe, and he used to be like wing, like he seriously couldn't hit the broadside of a goddamn bard.
You were the one that couldn't hit anything on there, and then Call of Duty, I was going
fight.
I was going positive on
You
there.
feel the brotherly love.
He would throw a fucking grenade and like bring attention to himself, like over here, like nobody knows.
You were doing that, and I was like, "Why are you throwing a grenade? Those things fucking glow."
All right, you ready? Fight!
Do it.
Anyway, yeah. So hopefully Mooch gets here in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Xbox games with gold. A lot of people are like, well, crap. They must have paid attention to your video saying about how bad it sucked. And I'm not taking credit for that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people did complain about the previous months or whatever. But this months are actually pretty damn good. And I have some of the games, like the Burnout one. But that's a good Burnout game, by the way. And what the hell were the other games? Hold on, let me check this real quick.
Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast,
Outland, and Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah,
Okay, Sleeping Dogs, yeah.
So Sleeping Dogs is a really good game.
Heck
I've
yeah,
been a
man.
proponent of that game since it came out. Like I remember I got that game. I actually rented that game because it was just kind of on a whim. And I remember I sat there and I played through like the whole game in like a day. Like I did everything, and like 2 days or something like that. That game was amazing. Although I already own the definitive edition, I haven't played through it yet. So that's a really good game. I question Outlast. I think they should have released that in October, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that seems a little bit redundant. Like, to me, you know what would have been great games with gold for October? Alien Isolation, which they constantly sell for like $6, and Outlast. Those would have been like, hey, happy October, right? GKB, Crapgamer should be running that portion of Xbox, right? Like, hey, which game should we go? Which game should we give away? How about Alien Isolation? Because you guys give that shit away for like $6 every month. Or Outlast, and Outlast, you know what I mean? That would have been perfect. And then, like, throw in some other, like, Halloween-esque games on 360. But, again, Sleeping Dogs is a brilliant game. Sadly, this is a game that, it was a new IP last gen. It didn't sell amazingly well. I beat it on 360, and I got it on
cult following and stuff, though. It's
yeah, exactly. They canceled the sequel, and the studio that made it closed down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that sucks because this is what happens, and this will tie into what we're going to talk about in a little bit. With Gears of War, apparently Gears of War 4 underperformed. A lot of people are saying, well, maybe digital sales or whatever, but I get that because like I don't own a physical copy either, so I think digital probably has something to do with that. But and a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't really interfere with my like of it. Sunset Overdrive would be a good example. Quantum Break, yeah, sales didn't interfere with our liking those games, but they damn sure interfere with getting sequels down the line. So something to keep in mind. But anyway, yeah, Sleeping Dogs, great game. I know a lot of people had asked me that they were on the fence when this game used to be on sale. Definitely a big title, a fun title. It's got the DLC. The DLC is crazy. I love the DLC. It's like this crazy, like Land of the Dead, like fighting these ghost zombies or whatever. Fantastic stuff. That's one of the DLCs, and it's really a lot of fun. So that's a fantastic game. I've never played Outlast, so
Outlast is great, bro.
Have you guys played that?
Yeah, it's like a first-person like survival thing. It's got a lot of jump scares. A lot of people stream it a lot too, man. And you know, you see them like freaking out and stuff like that.
We
Like,
got it for my birthday.
She-Wolf jumped out of her chair one time when she was playing it.
Yeah,
it was super good.
Jeremy Downer got it for me for my birthday.
Yep.
Oh, did he? Well, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, my type of game, but I mean, it'll be good to have another game that I don't actually own. So.
Yeah, and then like Burnout, like I think that's one that people have been asking for a while
I
as well,
want to
right?
see you stream Outlast, but you have to, well, no cam, because I guess that would be probably bad. I could see people really screw things over with. But you should still stream it. It'd be funny to watch you play Outlast.
You could do it anyway, bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. Yeah.
But he's got bad internet, though.
Yeah, like that. I would be streaming constantly. I think I would be bigger than PewDiePie or whoever, Boogie. I swear I would be, because I'm just that crazy. I'd just be drunk all the time, streaming, making an ass of myself. I don't care, man.
Just us fucking playing games with each other would be enough to draw people in if we had.
You two fighting would be hilarious, bro.
Yeah, well,
honestly,
you never see, like, I was playing.
It is. I was stuck in a match with the two of them, and listening to
exactly.
freak out because like he's losing is actually hilarious, because he thinks he's so good, but then he loses. He's like, so mad.
Hey, I used to be damn good at that game back in the day.
But you make it sound like you're like the best person in the world.
Yeah, but if you suck at a game, you gotta talk shit and you gotta get like that kind of thing going.
Oh,
exactly. It seem like it's their fault.
It's when I start talking shit like that is when I start to do better. Or I fall apart completely.
But you can when I'm sitting there behind him and I watch him.
Hellhammer's plan is like to get in everybody's head, fucking piss them off, get them all fucked up, and then he's gonna win eventually, right?
Yeah, he does. Well, what's funny is Hellhammer does that, right? And then he'll just go. His favorite thing to say is "I'm done." I mean, everybody who knows him knows that that's his thing. I'm done. What he tells me, right? We're playing Call of Duty 4 Remastered. He goes, "That's it." He's like, "I'm done. I'm uninstalling this game. I'm done with it. I swear to God." And then like the next map, I was like, "You want me to pick you up?" And he's like, "Yeah." Oh, who do we got?
Uh-oh.
I brought some fruitcake. I don't know if anybody needs any fruit. Oh, it's the holidays, right?
There he is.
Anybody need any fruitcake? No?
Ew.
We weren't cussing you out for being late.
Who likes fruitcake? Who actually eats that stuff?
Nobody.
Hey, I like fruitcake. I like it.
It's the gift you keep re-gifting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
true. It never goes bad either.
It doesn't go bad. So She-Wolf and GKB give it to me. I would just walk over and be like, "Crap, you won't believe I baked all day. Here you go."
Crap would be like,
if I'm gonna send someone food, I'll send like my homemade apple pie that I make, or I make a really good Bailey's cream cheese.
See, the Bailey's cream cheese are really good.
The chat, like cheesecake. Everybody watches this
cheesecake.
Yeah, right. Mooch Maniacs.
Everybody's like, Mooch. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I, dog shit? Come on, man.
Those are the Mooch Maniacs, man. They were. Hey, listen, I did the foodcast on Food's channel. I noticed I did what Crap does to me. I actually went and looked. In 2 hours after we did the foodcast, I think I beat all of his other foodcast like appearances. I'm like, the Maniacs came out from the wild work. It was great.
They did. They're crazy. And Mooch, a minute ago we were talking about, you've seen this firsthand too. Me and Hellhammer when we're playing competitive games and how Hellhammer acts, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've been up
like it's all true, right? I mean, it's all true.
It's actually too true. It's unbelievable. And he does also. Hellhammer likes to either, I don't know if he likes to die or get killed by somebody with the wackiest name. Like
that's just, I don't know what the hell the deal is with that, but that has been happening to me since I've been gaming online. The people with the stupidest fucking names kill me.
Yeah.
Back to back.
We used to have a forum dedicated to just that. We'd be like, that name's making a list, I swear. And you can ask Grave, like, see, Cock Diesel.
You know what? A lot of it is, too, is I think it's funny, so I will call it out if I think the name is just intentionally funny, if I think that.
Yeah, he'll be like, wow, AZN boy. Or, wow, Cock Diesel was the funniest one, because Cock Diesel killed him about 20 times.
That's the greatest name ever, bro.
I know, right? We were like, Cock Diesel. So, like, if we start doing good, I remember my buddy Grave was like, man, I think I'm that guy's Cock Diesel because he must have killed somebody a bunch of times. You know what I mean? Like, so like
Cock Diesel.
Cock Diesel, yeah, or Lady of Miami used to fuck up Hellhammer. Like all these people with weird names, right? Like just it's the funniest damn thing, and yeah, everybody knows it. He had his own forum dedicated to this, and when he starts doing bad, he's like, I'm done.
The craziest name I've run into was, and this was back in the old Call of Duty days, was Zombie Bill Murray killed me a number of times, which was fantastic. I thought that was the greatest name of all time until I actually beat Horde mode recently with Phil Collins. That was great.
Oh, Phil Collins. That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
people kept asking me, is it the singer? And I actually want to say yes, but I happen to know who he is on Twitter. So it's not Phil Collins. It's not the guy from Genesis. But it was great though, because think about it. The whole time he was like our leader. He was the leader guy. He was the guy who just knew everything about the map and the fabricator and all that stuff. So what was great was we were like, Phil Collins, what do you want me to make, Phil? You know what I mean? It was just so, and people were laughing because we're like screaming Phil Collins. I wish we actually twitched it out. It would have been hysterical to watch. So
one of these days we'll have to twitch some Gears. What is that? Horde mode, like with Bam and them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I got a feeling that'd be pretty sick.
You know what we should do, Crap, too, is I thought it would be nice to do a reunion. We'll get Southbound. We'll get Worry, yourself, me. We can actually get anybody, of course, that's on the panel right now. If they get the PS4, we should revisit what is the disgrace in the basically Horde Uncharted 4, and we can do a Twitch again on PS4, which is just pathetic. But we could try it.
I mentioned that. I was like, you know what? Look, and that's actually a top
band back together.
Yeah,
I won't have a PS4 unless somebody gets me one for Christmas, because I'm not spending my money on that crap.
Dropping hints.
well, yeah. Did you guys see that? Right, I did a video about it. Gears of War Horde mode completely ripped off by Uncharted 4 developers. I think that they've kind of sunk to a new low, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, after every 10 modes, after every 10 rounds, you fight a boss. Mm-hmm. Come on. You know what I mean? Like that's
a blatant rip-off. I mean, the what do they have there? They have their version of the Fabricator or whatever the hell
Fabricator.
it is.
Yeah, they got a fucking Fabricator. After 10 rounds, you fight a boss. It's 4-player co-op. I mean, like, I got a feeling that Neil Druckmann was sitting there playing his gifted copy of Gears of War 4 and was like, it would be good in Uncharted 4. Yeah, this would be a great mode. Yeah, let's just add this to Uncharted 4. We don't want any like story DLC. Let's go ahead and add a Horde mode, because that's what all the cool kids are doing. I mean,
they even got the coins that you collect and stuff too, like running around and collecting that stuff too.
Even exactly you see that. I mean, yeah, it's a complete ripoff. It's what Sony. Actually, Uncharted has been doing that for a while now. Like, there was a time when Uncharted was really good, and I'm not saying Uncharted 4 is terrible by any means, but you could tell that they definitely took inspiration or flat out stole stuff from the newer Tomb Raider games, and now from the Gears of War stuff too. Because if you look back, Uncharted 1 had no multiplayer or anything like that. The mechanics and stuff were okay. Then Uncharted 2, they went a multiplayer mode, and they went for that more pop and lock kind of mode where you stop behind. So just basically like Gears, and then they added like the multiplayer and stuff like that. So I think they were trying to make that their own Gears of War type of game, and now
you
like
see all your crates there, crap.
I know.
Is the She-Wolf /GKB residents getting a PS4 for Christmas? Who has Santa?
Nope.
No.
Oh, I thought you said it was on the horizon. It was going to happen eventually.
We go back and forth.
Eventually, but when it comes to Christmas, we have other things that's definitely a lot more important and more focused based on getting things than focusing on getting another PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't blame you at all. I just thought that maybe it would be because to be honest with you, there's really no reason for me to have a PlayStation 4. The next game I'm gonna buy is Horizon, and that's gonna be I'm prepared for a letdown. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it would be
way to be positive, Mooch.
Well, sorry, man. Look, me positive. Speak to Guerrilla Games. They're the ones that have let us all down over the years. But
not arguing. I agree.
I think. So what topic were you guys on? I caught a little bit as I was.
We were
driving.
talking games with gold. The thoughts on that. I mean, did you ever pull the trigger on Sleeping Dogs, Mooch?
Well, first of all, I pulled the trigger on Sleeping Dogs when it was a 360 free game back in the day. So I do have it on 360 digitally, but no, I'm going to definitely scoop that bad boy up for Xbox One. But believe it or not, I mean, only because it's free, Outlast has really got my attention. I came close to buying that around Halloween.
You know what I think all of us should do? We should all go on Xbox Live and like stream from the Xbox app on Twitch or whatever, and do like because really you only need someone watching one person, because obviously we would all be seeing the same thing, but they would still have like all of our reactions. So like if you have like OBS, if someone wants to do cam or something, or just even the set, like just people's expressions or whatever, I think we should all do like a community Outlast like thing. I think it'd be funny.
That's a pretty good idea. Actually.
That is a good idea, but I'd maybe be too afraid to play that game. I don't know. I don't do good with jump scares.
He did drop his DS with
but
the
that's what
Resident
makes
Evil
it so
remaster.
great, though.
It is. Scares like every 5 seconds.
That makes for great Twitch streaming crap.
Yeah, it does. It does. I hear you, like screaming,
I
like.
still want to do a freaking Call of Duty Zombies stream too.
Yeah, when are we doing that? Actually, I wouldn't mind playing. I honestly am looking forward to playing with GKB because GKB. I know that's his wheelhouse. And not just that, but I have a feeling GKB would be like the first person to bring us through like a true leader.
No, you don't want to play with him.
He's one of those guys that just run through
No, it's not that. It's the fact of if you die, you might as well just stay dead and let him run his train and not break his unless you can keep up with his memento that he gets going. Just stay dead until he completes the
next round.
So basically, just tune in the GKB on Beam.
It's fun, it is fun, but unless he gets these really good trains going, he can see for a really long time.
I know them trains.
And it's just when he's going, if you fall behind at all, if he stops, then the whole entire horde that he has behind him will literally just devour anyone who tries to get anybody up. So you kind of have to just either stay up with him or just wait till he finishes them all off, and then you'll get up the next round. So if you want to get through it, it's definitely a way to do it.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, that reminds me of my buddy Grave. Whenever we'd play, the one that we used to really play a lot was the one on the first Black Ops Call of the Dead. Yeah. And then if you were ever down, he'd have to run all the way back around, and he'd be like, "I don't got enough time." And then once you get deeper into the game, it makes no sense. Once you die, you're screwed. Yeah, you're kind of screwed because there's realistically no going back. But I've been looking forward to playing some of that the zombie stuff too, and that because
oh my god, this one is just so fun with all the slides and everything. And there's a giant alien that has a laser gun, and there's blown up friggin' clowns and oh my god, we would have a blast playing it. There's clowns. There's scary, creepy clowns.
I hate clowns. Well, all clowns are scary and creepy. That's a crap gamer phobia. I'm just saying. Just so you know, and that had something to do with it. But also growing up, we used to have these sad clown paintings or something along those, and they used to freak me out. So clowns are scary. You know what I mean? I can't be the only one that thinks that. You're wondering what are they hiding?
I'm not scared of clowns. Sorry.
The only clown that was ever scary, I think, in any movie was the one in Poltergeist. That was pretty fucked up.
Crazy.
No, the clown was scary. They all float down there.
They all float. Yeah, no, Pennywise. Pennywise.
I guess growing up,
it was a TV show, so it wasn't that scary.
I guess growing up with Jason and Freddy Krueger and Silver Bullet and all that, clowns just don't scare me.
Yeah, they don't really scare me. I'm with you on that. I don't think clowns are really the most fearful. How on Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday, we're talking about Halloween shit. But this didn't even come up October 31st. I think
That's because we had already said that Microsoft should have released Outlast and something like Alien Isolation for October games with gold.
Right.
And that would have made much more sense than November.
Absolutely.
I don't know. So, but I did want to talk about something that probably brings you great pleasure, Mooch, and that is Rise of the Tomb Raider flopped on PS4.
Couldn't be happier. No, I'm joking. But listen, the thing is I feel bad for Crystal Dynamics and the S's that they put a lot of work into it. But you got to kind of chuckle under your breath a little bit with all the Sony guys. And that one was that one of the developers. Somebody was like, "Well, don't worry. When it gets to PS4, everything will be fine." That
was that Paul Rushinsky guy, and he goes, "Don't." And I saved that shit. He's like, "Don't worry. Tomb Raider will do just fine next year when it's released on PS4."
Meanwhile, I believe the numbers, and tell me, I know I'm wrong here, but I'm going to be rough. We're roughly around 162,000 copies on PS4. Where Xbox
120
and Xbox cleared 1 million.
Yeah, in the first month. Easy. So yeah, I think that's not only that, but what the funny part is, the whole thing that this guy was talking about was the initial sales for the UK, right? Which were something like 74,000 or something like that. But the funny thing is, it was 63,000 in the UK, but that's only for one day because they released it on the Friday
Right.
and they only count that day.
That's right.
So that's not digital. So people were like freaking out on that, right? And then so this guy's like, it'll do fine. So yeah, I was quick to shove it right up that guy's ass in a video today because you know, I just think it's funny. You know, you got 47 million.
Just you should send them the video, Crap. Send it to him personally. Send them the link.
I should, or I should send him this article that he was in when he was basically saying it, because everybody was laughing. You know, everybody's like, "Yeah, man, it's home, Uncharted, or it's Tomb Raider going home, folks. It's home, it's home. It's going home on the PlayStation 4. There was goddamn more videos streaming this, more advertisements, more everything." Since it was going on the PS4, way more. I can remember bitching about the lack of coverage this game got when it released on Xbox One. People would rather stream fucking Bloodborne, which is what they were doing. I remember, Mooch.
Oh shit.
We bitched about it. They were streaming Bloodborne. Yeah, Rocket League and fucking Bloodborne over Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like, are you guys serious?
Yeah, it's pathetic. Remember that? It was like episode 75 on Polygon, Bloodborne strikes again. And I was like, we're still talking about this? And they're still bringing up. When you have an argument or a discussion with a PlayStation fan, they're like, well, we look at Bloodborne. I'm like, look at Bloodborne? Like, that was 2 years ago. What's wrong? I mean, I think Sony's catchphrase should be not for the players. We're in the past. Like, I don't know, like, all they do is live in the past. And people are like, well, nostalgia with PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. That's why PlayStation's so grand in other countries. Let's live. We got to live, people. Move on. Like, great. I'm really happy PlayStation 1 and 2, like, were really successful. PlayStation 4 is a terrible, terrible product. Only because, I'm not saying the hardware, but they're not giving you any software. Nothing. Yeah. Like, there's nothing out there. We have PS4s, and I'm begging people. I'm like, tell me what I need to buy besides The Last of Us Remastered and Uncharted 4. Both Naughty Dog games.
Hell, I sold off my Last of Us. I got when I originally got my PS4, it came with the download code for The Last of Us Remastered, and I sold that shit right on eBay. I was like, you know, it's not my thing. People don't believe me. I tried. You know what I mean? That game was boring. I know you like it, Mooch, which is weird.
I do like it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you like that game. So, like, people that are always like, Mooch hates everything PlayStation. I'm like, no. I already played. You played the multiplayer on PS3.
I played the multiplayer for like 3 months. Like I'll be honest with you. I did buy, still wrapped up. I haven't opened it, but I have The Last of Us Remastered for PS4. If like everybody on this panel wanted to play the multiplayer, I would be kind of a little bit gung ho. Like, I really enjoyed. I haven't played a multiplayer like that yet. Horde on Gears is close, but it's not the same because I like the way that they have the mechanic. The one thing Naughty Dog did right was they should have put it in Uncharted. Who cares? Instead of copying Horde, Gears, a different your rival platform, copy your own game. They could have made the same multiplayer that they had for Last of Us for Uncharted. 4v4, where you have like these different resources all over the map. You grab them, you can craft, and then you have to shoot. And like everything in it is just it's done very well. It's one of the only games like that, in my opinion. And no, Naughty Dog doesn't do that. What do? They rip off Gears. Like, it's a blatant rip off. It looks pathetic.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is what we should do. When GKB and She-Wolf get their PS4s, we'll get Hellhammer hooked up, and we'll all hop on the multiplayer and see how it's done.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like that's what we'll do. Like it's decided, it's done. That'll be the next multiplayer thing we do.
So we'll be back in like a couple years, guys.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is all you guys had PS4s, even Hellhammer.
But I mean, even still, like even at like the deals that they have going on for Black Friday, I still can't justify even that low price for a PS4 because there's just not enough games for me.
Yeah, see, that's my problem too, right? Like if I'm gonna go out and spend,
Well, however, how many hours, if you had to put hours, how many hours did you put on your PS4 when you had it?
Oh, man, at least tens.
Tens?
If we ended up buying another PlayStation 4, it would probably only be one. So we'd have to like take turns because.
Oh, you guys could just hand off the controller. Okay, now it's She-Wolf's time, and then when you get slapped around, we'll know it's you anyway because GKB is the better gamer. So.
Oh.
Wow!
Geez.
Wow! You tell him now.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Would you like me to just leave now?
No. It's all. We're all good. I'm just chilling.
Don't backpedal, bro.
Just jokes.
Somebody do it. Somebody do a she-wolf drop, quick.
That doesn't even deserve it. That was just rude as shit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that was pretty
cool.
I
the shit out of it, actually. I thought it was funny.
I'm actually pretty damn good at freaking gaming. Thank you. I can hold my own.
Oh, God.
Man. Yeah. Hey. So anyway, it was just jokes, folks. Just jokes. Just joking. Hashtag just jokes.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, she's gonna be salty the rest of the show now, bro.
Oh yeah, I am.
Every
time he asks me a question, every time he asks me a question, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh wait, I thought you said I couldn't game, so why are you asking me?"
Man.
Oh fuck. Yeah. So yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, it did. It ended up doing pretty piss poor. Everybody was like, "Man, it's gonna sell great on PS4." And my argument was always this, guys: if you're a true gamer, like a real gamer, and you love that series, and let's be honest, the reboot was great. Who's gonna wait a goddamn year to play the game? Especially when you can play it. If you really want to play it good enough, you could have played it on the 360, the PC, or Xbox One. I mean, how many 360? I played it on both 360 and Xbox One. And yeah, the game looks better on Xbox One, but it looked good on 360 as well. You know what I mean? You still get the same game and experience. So if you wanted to play that game, you know, why would you wait? That was always my thing. But here's also another thing. I don't like the idea of these timed exclusives on these third-party things. I didn't like that one per se. I didn't like the Street Fighter one. You know what I mean? Like, if games, it's just weird to me how these companies do that now. And what happens is it ends up hurting the games because people either feel jilted, you know, that it's not coming to their console of choice, or they don't, you know, they don't buy it when it does eventually get there. Thoughts?
I agree, man. Like, I'm kind of with you know, Mooch on this one too. Like, I hate to see, you know, the Tomb Raider series do bad, or, you know, Crystal Dynamics or any of those guys do bad, because I love games, man, and I want games to do well regardless where they are. But you know, we kind of knew this was coming. It's over a year. I think a lot of people like already played it that were gonna play it. I mean, it's still sold a little bit, so it's helping out. But I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of weird because we're seeing a lot of games, and we're going to talk about like Gears and all that stuff too. Like, you know, with people like renting games with GameFly and all this other stuff, you know, it's really hurting, you know, the industry as a whole as far as like selling games. And, you know, they're still not really calculating digital sales that much. So there's a bunch of factors, man, that's going to go into, you know, the games going forward.
I mean that's just in the problem, right? Like, you know, like Street Fighter, right? I'd probably be interested in that game actually because it looked pretty decent. But I mean, if it ever does eventually go to Xbox, I'm gonna be by the time that actually happens, I'm not gonna be interested in that. Or there's gonna be so many games I've played through, I'm gonna forget all about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're seeing games too that are like, you know, like a lot of the indies and stuff that are on the PS4 and the Sony side that were like exclusives. Now you're seeing them like going back over to the Xbox now, and that's due because they're not making the sales that they want to be making. So
well, because nobody buys games on the PlayStation. Like the average PlayStation gamer owns like what, like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they don't have as high of a thing. But not only that, but overall game sales are kind of down, which is a little bit troubling. Titanfall 2 completely flopped. I mean, 80% worse in America than the original did the first month of launch. I mean, 80%.
Wait, something's not right. There's something missing. You ever look at an equation and you're like, okay, it's 4 plus X equals whatever, you know what I mean? 16. And my point being here is that we're all looking at just the numbers and we're not paying attention to the missing variable. This is everyone thought that this was the generation that was going to be the bust. Like, nobody's going to buy consoles. Nobody's going to do this. Nobody's going to do that. And that was the exact opposite. I mean, yeah, maybe this generation won't break records, but this generation has been very healthy in hardware sales. So yeah, it's doing very well. People didn't go out and buy these boxes not to buy games. So everyone's like, what's the deal? What could it be? Well, there's a lot of things. First of all, there's oversaturation right now. I mean, the other thing is that, man,
that's happening with a lot of things.
It absolutely. But what I'm saying, yeah, it really is. But nonetheless,
like, if you know, you know.
If you know. But my whole point is, like, I just think that, look at Call of Duty. They're like, oh, the numbers are down. The numbers are down. It's still going to sell 23 million copies, everybody. So let's stop saying Call of Duty's hurting. You know what I mean?
Titanfall 2, though, I mean, that game really...
Well, Titanfall 2 ran victim to a lot. Everyone wants to keep pointing to, well, it was released next to Battlefield. Yes, I get it. That hurt it. It did. Okay. But let's be honest. They offended the Xbox community. Okay. They completely took Sony's side. They completely gambled. They took Sony's side, and Sony fans did not buy Titanfall 2 at all. Like, at all.
Yep.
So
that's actually what I was going to say too. I mean, it's basically just kind of their own fault. That the part of it also is EA for putting their lineup so close to each other.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, the other thing is we can't sit here and say, oh, well, you know what you need to do? You need to take these games and start handing them out in February and March and April and May. Because listen, that doesn't work either. Like Quantum Break was in April with no competition, and it didn't do that great.
Wait, no, it was April or May?
April 5th.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think for that part of your equation, Mooch, I don't think every game should do that, but I think the big titles that already have a huge fan base could definitely spread it around. That'll give people, more games, more room, like during the holidays.
That's a good idea, GKB. I'm with you on that. So let's just use Call of Duty. It's such a big boy.
Yeah.
But see, Call of Duty knows they're the ones that made November. Okay, so they're not going to go bow out and give away a large month. You're not going to get the big boys to do that, but you're right. No, if Call of Duty went from November's to like April, it would still do killer. But
right,
I mean,
like when Call of Duty comes out in November, like 4 or 5 months later, they're kind of over that already and waiting for the next one to come out. So that'd be kind of a perfect time to set that up, maybe in the summertime or something, being like, oh, here's the next Call of Duty, guys.
Yeah. Right. I hear what you're saying. Like for me though, like they come out with all these games, right? Like and I was one of those people that was saying, this generation is a little bit weird. We aren't getting as many games, et cetera, et cetera. Mooch, you've heard me complain about that a lot.
Absolutely.
But now it's like they have so many, right? It's like we had the Call of Duty, which had 2 Call of Duties in it, Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, all these phenomenal games, Gears 4, Forza Horizon 3, ReCore, Mafia 3.
But we keep painting, like everyone keeps forgetting, like the nostalgia is a hell of a drug, people. Like you have to understand, everyone keeps thinking that 360 was just fucking, people were walking in the GameStop just throwing wrappers of thousands of dollars at people. Like,
give me them games.
Take it. Take the money, man. Take it. That wasn't happening. There was games like fucking oh God, now I'm drawing a blank. Like Army of Two, I keep using that one as an example, but it's a bad one. Rust, there was Mag, there was fucking, these games were supposed to be huge. We just didn't have the social media where people were bitching about it 24/7, 365. And now everyone's like, you know what I mean? Like these games were supposed to be made. You know how much money Sony put in the Mag? It sold like 8 copies. Like you don't understand. Like, there's tons of shit that went like faulty, and everyone's like, no, last generation people just bought shit twice. I'm like, no, they didn't. They didn't do that. There was a couple. There was Bullets. These games. All these games came out. Nobody gave a shit. And
here's the thing. Social media wasn't as big, but there was still a lot of people bitching about stuff. It just
social media couldn't be the worst thing to ever happen to humanity in the world. It couldn't be possibly the worst thing. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Like everything is scrutinized, right? And then everything is looked over a microscope, and then everything is just so one way. And if you're not part of that one way, you're the other. There's no middle. You're either one way or the other way. Listen, my whole point is this: like a game comes out like Gears, right? And I don't know, if we're jumping into your main event a little too early here, but I got to talk about it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Gears. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, they only sold 505,000 copies." Shut up. They did. Shut your mouth. This game did fantastic, okay? This game's going to continue doing fantastic. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was somebody on TXR. I think it was Rand. Said that basically, look, even though the 505,000 doesn't include the digital copies, look at how much money. They have $99 fucking rec packs. Mm-hmm. Okay? They have $69 rec packs that people are buying like tomorrow's the end of the world. Like, you have no idea. They're making a full game. Like they're making a full game again on people, and they're buying Marcus a cold fucking like a winter hat. Like, you understand that like craziness is happening, but nobody, NPD's not recording how many scarves you bought for James. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. So like,
hey, Mooch, I agree 100%. Look, whatever it was, over 500,000 or whatever, and then that's not counting digital.
Digital, you can throw another.
Look, I mean,
another 300,000 easy.
Look,
like worldwide.
Is that 500,000? Is that including the ones that were bundled with consoles as well, or is that?
Yes, it was. I think.
Okay. Yeah, that was included. Yes. Because someone leaked it. Was it some person on Twitter who actually is an MPD member?
It's the more polite version of Z Huge. That's what I call them. The Xbox friendly Z Huge.
Yeah, the Xbox friendly Z Huge. So it's basically over 500,000.
Yeah.
And if you count digital and worldwide, definitely that game's probably close to 2 million by now. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think that it's doing horrible. And then people were like, well, it even underperformed what Gears Judgment did. But my defense to that was Gears Judgment came out in 2013. There was like 80-some million 360s out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even if all those weren't active, you still had a much larger user base.
I mean, look, that's another thing too that people gotta look at with these with the numbers that are dropping. It's true that they are dropping, but if you're comparing it to, a couple of million here or there is bound to happen just because you get those things start to get stale after a while. Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. People get tired out on that. But if you're trying to put it up against numbers from previous consoles, especially 360 exclusives, I mean, you're pretty much. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense because there was so many 360s out there. I mean, literally the 360 was like the second most popular console next to the Wii. I knew more people with the same people who had a Wii had a 360.
They called that the Wii 60.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's literally people who hardly ever gamed. I knew people who owned both. So that's the thing. There was literally 80 million. And if you count, non-actives, it's still looking at probably closer to 40.
So by the end of the year, like if you had to make a prediction for Gears 4, what would you guys predict the sales to be at by the end of the year? I mean, there's crazy sales. You can get this game for $30
Black Friday and all that kind of stuff coming up, man. I could see easy over 2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say I would probably say 1.5.
I would say 2.5 million.
Wait, what's the time threshold though, Crap? What are you giving?
The end of the year. The end of the year.
Yeah, easily. Listen, we're talking 505, and then you're talking about another 300 or so right now, maybe more. I'm playing conservative here. 800,000 units out there. Doesn't include Black Friday. Doesn't include Christmas. Blah 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 blah.
Doesn't include UK or any place outside of the US.
Right. You know what I mean? Look at Microsoft is fucking fat and happy off of Gears 4, and all the assholes that are like, no, that's abysmal. It's terrible. It's you don't even know what you're talking about. Here's another reason why social media is just. It's pretty bad, man. It's really, really bad. It's ridiculous. You've got people. Listen, people can turn around and say the same thing about us, right? They're like, "Well, how do you know?" I don't know, but I do know. I do know that they have around 800,000 solidified in the U.S. at the minimum. And we did this breakdown when Halo 5 numbers came out. Everybody's like, "It didn't do good." It did fucking fantastic. Yeah. And no game on Sony's PS4 platform has touched Halo money or Halo 5 numbers. So, like, the same thing goes for Gears. Like, it's just that everybody picks. It gets boring and exhausting after a while with the media constantly picking on Microsoft.
Yeah,
it's getting so ridiculous. I mean, what is Sony? Sony's coming out with The Last Guardian this year. Like, The Last Guardian's not even 100,000 copies sold, but nobody's going to say anything.
Oh, you know what? That game, like, the funny thing is, like, and I've said this before, if that game does anything, it'll be because it does good in Japan. I don't really see it doing amazing things here in the States.
I mean, the problem is that all this stuff is like, I mean, people are just putting this shit up against, again, old numbers, too. I mean, plus Gears is a big game, but it was never, that Gears was always, like, second to Halo anyways.
Oh, well, I can still recall like Zaire, and some people were like, this is Gears' time to make that leap to be the face of Xbox, and I was like, never happened. Never gonna. Shiwa, if you're awfully quiet, I mean, what's your thoughts on Gears 4? I mean, do you like the game? Do you think that it
I don't play games, so I apparently don't have any form of comment.
Triggered.
I can there's
you
a little
said
bit
it.
It was jokes.
Craps in the doghouse.
And GKB has to live with that tonight too.
I know GKB's like, oh man,
I got liquor, man. It's good. I'll just liquor.
Nice.
It's just that's what I do. I just joke. It's just jokes, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, just jokes.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
anyways, are they okay? Well, when it comes to the sales of Gears, are they actually, when they're releasing these numbers, are we actually getting all the numbers?
Nope.
Like that's including like, you know, because we also have to look at the fact of the consoles that were sold, all the digital that, you know, that's sold, all the add-ons, all the rep packs that were bought, because there was also packs that you were able to buy at GameStop and all that kind of stuff too. There wasn't just, you know, the online digital ones either. So it's just, are we getting a tally of everything combined that was brought to this game, or are we just getting pretty much a manufacturer sale?
One piece of the
This
pie.
this is just the physical release of the game in the North America only. And again, the game release went October 9th or 11th or something.
7th, I think.
7th. Okay, so realistically, this is 3 weeks sales of the game physically only in North America. So
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's the thing about it is this: what does Microsoft care about? Do they care about physical copies sold in North America only, or do they care about all sales? And when I mean all sales, I don't mean just digital and physical. They care about the UK sales. They care about sales in Australia. They care about sales in Mexico and Canada. They also give a shit about all the rec packs.
What about the Windows 10
and the
sales
microtransactions
too, right? I mean,
and the Windows 10 sales?
Hey, look,
like all the specialty things, like say, you know, there was gear socks that were being sold with
Yeah, it's all the merchandise.
12-month. Yeah, there's like all of that kind of stuff that is brought into this game.
Absolutely.
And there's even like what was it? The Red Bulls? No, it wasn't Red Bulls. It was
Rockstars.
Rockstars.
And the Totina pizzas and pizza rolls.
Yeah, so you know there's a whole. It's not just the game that's sold. That, you know, you have to look at the fact of the fans and the franchise itself sells more than just its game, and I think all these sales should be contributed.
That's where they have to make up all their money for, you know, the money they put into developing these games. It's all the merchandise.
I mean, Crapgamer went out and bought some Totino's pizzas after that.
Yeah, I bought a big old stack of them so that we could get we could play as what the hell was Zombie JD?
Zombie JD,
which is weird because he doesn't do you any good because he just goes brains all the time.
Yeah, like, really loud.
So does Dom.
Yeah, he's like brains, and you're like, wow, shut the hell up! You're drawing attention over you. You know what I mean? Like, brains. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys. Oh no, go ahead, GKB.
Yeah.
I think there's like a couple factors. Like, I think games like Gears 4 and like, you know, Tomb Raider is going to do fine. Like, they're going to have sequels. I don't think it's a big deal. But I think other games that, you know, don't have that franchise behind them, you know, kind of sucks with, you know, like a lot of what Mooch was saying, like with social media, you know, and the reviews and stuff. They're just nitpicking the shit out of these games that I've never seen before. That's hurting sales. And that's why you see stuff like Bethesda not giving you it until like the day before. And that's probably going to continue through a lot of these devs. I think there's just
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too, because it's hurting their games. I want more games. So if that's what they have to do, I'm fine with it.
I mean, who was it? Was it IGN that bitched about Skyrim Special Edition, them not getting it till the day of?
Yeah,
or the day before? I mean, come on, look. It's we already know what the game is. It's fucking Skyrim, right? With upgraded graphics.
Yeah.
But there's other factors too. Like when games release now, like we're seeing like day one patches and, you know, we're seeing bugs on day one. So I think people are a lot of gun shy too on day one buys now. And I think they're waiting for a lot of those patches to come out. So I don't think you're going to see like big initial sales anymore. I think you're going to see, you know, the hardcores pick it up, and then you're going to see like a decent trickle effect over throughout the, you know, the rest of the year. So at the end of the year, they're probably going to have like a good amount of sales. I think that's just, you know, the industry.
Well, there's a guy in the chat right now, Pistol P215. He says that's the one main issue that all players have are microtransactions, and you guys are glorifying it. Listen, Pistol, unless you want to go out and start buying 25 copies of each game, like the microtransactions are in place. they're not getting fat and happy off them. They're actually making up the revenue for the numbers they need to sell.
Do you want to pay $100 games, just base games, or do you want to pay
like you can?
Yeah,
you go buy your $60 game, go play it. Nobody's got a gun to your head on your couch, being like, you need to buy a Marcus Phoenix scarf.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, people who, like, well, I'm not glorifying microtransaction at all, because I think for the most part they're annoying if it's something that actually affects your gameplay, right? But if you're just paying a little bit extra money to make your character look a little bit different or something like that, then by all means, I mean, that's your personal decision to make that choice.
Yeah, well, but Master Chief in 21 says, as long as the microtransactions don't make the game pay to win and pay for it's DLC. Who gives a shit if it's like you can, if somebody wants to pay $99 tonight to the Coalition and Microsoft for like a rec pack, knock your socks off. Like, buy 2 of them. I don't give a shit.
We've said this before too, is like, development money now is rivaling movie studios. Like, it's bigger industry than the movies. Like, they have to recoup that money or they're just not going to make games. So they have to figure out ways to do it. That's microtransactions. That's merchandises. That's all that kind of stuff so they can recoup that money.
Look at Ryan Little. This is what I'm saying. This is the ignorance. He's like, microtransactions ruin Gears. How?
Yeah, how does that
ruin Gears?
How does somebody having a different skin or something similar to that
ruin your game experience?
Here's the thing, right? Like, the microtransactions, like, they need to tweak them a bit, but they don't mess with the gameplay. That's like when I reviewed it. Like, how would that interfere with the gameplay? It doesn't, so you don't knock it down for that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Can't knock that down. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not gameplay. You're not getting a better gun with that.
If something messes with the gameplay, then by all means, fuck the developer for that. That's shit on them for doing that. But if you're just doing skins and stuff that just changes your character's appearance and stupid shit like that, then by all means, if these studios can make up a few $1 million here or there to help secure a sequel to a good game, then by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I mean, let's be honest. Gears multiplayer has always been a stop, drop, and shotgun somebody. Yeah. And it is what it is, because that Ryan Little was like, well, they took away from the game. It's not this. I'm like, it's not rewarding to play. What's rewarding to play is to get the mechanics down, learn how to play the game, and have your name on the top of the leaderboard. That's what's rewarding about all multiplayer games. And not what scarf you're wearing or what pair of shoes you got in a rec pack.
well, what's funny is the other Gears games took away from that because they segregated the audience depending on if you bought the DLC packs or not. Yep. This one, everybody's going to get to play on the same maps. You don't need to have buy DLC. So
that's huge.
That's huge. And they used to do this too with the skin packs, which maybe they go back to that later. I actually like the bounty stuff, and I like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a really good addition to the game. Yeah. I like everything that they're doing. Look, they took a risk, right? They could have, the easier thing to do would have picked up right after Gears 3, right? In my opinion, that would have been the easier thing to do. Pick up right after Gears 3 with the same characters and not made any changes or anything like that. What they did was they took a risk. They brought in a newer cast, new characters. You know what I mean? And then they brought in what's going to be a really great story arc over the next couple of games, because they obviously set it up for the future with that ending. So
look, Gears 3, if anybody was complaining about the skin side, Gears 3, I remember some of those skins were like $1.99. So I think that's a little bit better idea rather than the rec packs on there. Mm-hmm. But just buy outright the skin that you want.
I think a lot of
you still have to pay money for certain skins. I mean, Gears 3, I probably spent $6-7 on skins. On Gears 4, I probably spent $5 to $10 on rec packs.
Yeah,
to try to get the one skin that I wanted.
I think a lot of game developers now are just trying to figure out ways and the best way that's going to benefit the developer and the gamers to recoup the money for the game. So you're going to see a lot of developers like try new things and all that stuff. And I think Halo is still the best one at this point that's done it right.
And here's another thing I want to bring up too, right? If you have an issue with the microtransactions that don't affect your gameplay or don't put you above someone on the gameplay list, give you a better gun, give you a better whatever. Then maybe you should buy more games so that way these places get supported more rather than just waiting for a review and then being like, oh, look, there's microtransactions, and then I'm not going to buy it. There's the problem. So many people just wait on reviews or wait on whatever to base their purchases off of everything. and reviewers aren't the end all be all of everything.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think that
That's
it's
simple.
Yeah, it is. So I think Gears 4 is a good game.
I played games. I've played games that were rated, 5s and 6s.
Over
I
me,
thought they were good.
motherfucker.
Yeah, and I have played games that were rated 9s and 10s that I thought were garbage. So there you go.
Well, you know what? Yeah, it's like sometimes like you'll go see a movie that people are like, "This movie's great," and you go see it and it sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah, Gears is
Watch Dogs. Or not Watch Dogs. Watchmen. Yeah.
Yeah, Watchmen.
Watchmen.
That was a good movie.
No, that movie awful.
Awful movie.
See, now you would be one of those people that if you told me a movie sucked, I'd go watch it because chances are I'd like it.
See, I have those same people too, and if people are like, "Yeah, The Watchmen was awesome," I'm like, "Well, now I know when they go say another movie's awesome, they go avoid it." And so,
yeah, like that Batman versus Superman movie, Martha.
Yeah, the same people. The
Why'd
same
you
people
say that?
The same people I know who are like Watchmen was awesome, or the same people who are like Batman versus Superman was awesome. So
I didn't. No, that's not true. I didn't like that movie.
Both our
most
moms'
people
names
I
are
know.
Martha.
Martha.
Why'd you say it? I don't know.
How do you know that name?
How do you know it? You say it, Martha. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that movie's bad. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that's kind of pissing me off, which is there's this game called
Isn't everything pissing you off?
Yeah, I'm kind of angry.
Better now.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, their developer, that's their game. Apparently, they're like, yeah, we're going to do HDR support on PS4 and PC, but no Xbox One. Why the fuck are these developers doing HDR on everything but Xbox One?
Yeah.
When the Xbox One S was the first goddamn console that came out and announced this stuff, and they're not even doing any DirectX 12 or anything. They're just like, yeah, we're going to do... And then I'm reading this interview, right? They're like, what resolution and frame rate is going to be for the Xbox One and PS4? So they respond, PS4 1080p 30, and they call it the fucking X-Bone and say 900p 30.
Who is it now? Who is it?
It's these developers for this game called Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
Yep, they're dead to me. And you know what? I'll tell you right now. I recommend everybody like that's blatant. That's just blatant. Don't call X-Bone. You're what a pathetic company. And then people always say to me when I say this, they're like, "How dare you say that?" But a company like that, I could care less if they make it or they drown. I could care less.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing: if you're a third-party developer and you're talking down on a platform that you're releasing a game on, I mean, how fucking professional, how fucking unprofessional is that?
So if they can be unprofessional, then so can I, since I don't have a stake in the game. Everybody who's listening, don't buy that garbage. You know what? You'll find they'll come around. All of a sudden, they'll be wearing green scarves and green sneakers in a couple of weeks, like Respawn. Respawn's fucking. They're having a green out in their office party this Christmas. Okay. Vince Impella's gonna dress up as a fucking Titanfall 2 Xbox disc.
Hey, what's up, everybody that's watching? Hit that damn like button. We got over 300 watching, only 100 likes. Hit that like button. Show us that you're thankful for Xbox Nation the day before Thanksgiving. Hit that like button. Let's get some likes going in this damn place. We're putting on a hell of a show for you people, giving you entertainment.
Yeah, that's the lowest amount of likes I've seen even before you do e-bags.
I know, right? Come on. It's like people are just like, oh no, it must be because the name of the video. But again, look, there's no need to panic about Gears, right? Gears will be fine. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna end up selling a shit ton. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 3 million by the end of the year. You can pick it up for $30 Black Friday. It's even on sale digitally on the Xbox dashboard.
Right.
So yeah, I think that it's going to be fine. Hit that like button. Don't let the name of the podcast confuse you or anything like that. But like GKB, what's your thoughts on this HDR thing? Because this seems like it's creeping up a lot now with developers where they're just talking about, doing HDR on PS4 versions, but not Xbox One.
Yeah, like we talked about this before, and like I don't really understand it either, because literally, they already have the code and everything. They could just put it in. There's a lot of people like saying weird things about like the HDR and why they're not doing it on Xbox. It's really not true. It's just a standard that's on the TVs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bunch of extra code if you already have it coded for 2 of the 3.
Right. So why they're not doing it is just lazy development, honestly. And when they're gonna do that kind of stuff and be unprofessional and say Xbone and all that kind of stuff, you just lost me. I won't be buying their game.
Yeah. It's funny, like they can come out and insult us and say stupid things, make a game that's not parody when it's just laziness on their part. But then when we say we're not going to buy your product, they're like, Mooch, take it easy, buy the game.
Crapper completely wants that studio to close down. You saw it.
Support these poor people that are insulting you. What? Like that doesn't happen in any business. I don't need anybody ever telling me that. Are you crazy? That's insane. That's like if you walk up, you're in line at Taco Bell, and you're like, I don't know if I want number 1, number 2, and all of a sudden it's like, whack! Across your face, the fucking girl at the register smacks you in the face like, hurry up. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll take number 3.
Let me go buy this anyway.
Number 3 supersize, I meant. No, you just leave.
Hold on. Who would care to explain this to the people watching? Seems somebody actually asked, how is Xbone unprofessional?
Easy.
Would anyone like to actually answer this?
Because it's a derogatory mark that fanboys say to Xbox guys about the Xbox One. That's why it's unprofessional. And if devs are going to go in that, they're part of the console war bullshit that they keep saying.
Yes, they are.
So, yeah, it is offensive. They could say XB1. That's fine. They can say Xbox One S.
They could just say Xbox.
Well, one guy argued with me, and he's like, oh no. He's like, I'm just abbreviating it. You want to abbreviate it, asshole? Put an X and a number 1. I'll know what you're talking about, and you can't get any shorter than that. And the other thing
call it an Xbox. Is anybody really gonna fucking confuse the Xbox with the Xbox from fucking 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Like I'm jumping on my fucking rage over here. It pisses me off.
Like Mooch and I have talked about this like a bunch of times. Like when you're a developer, you're out front of your company and stuff. You have to be professional. You're trying to like get contacts with people. You're doing things and saying derogatory stuff about a console one or the other. It doesn't matter. You don't do that stuff. It's called professionalism for a reason, and you need to do it.
And not only that, Xbox fans, that whole shit, the whole Xbone thing originated in fucking NeoGAF. That should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah,
it's not a good term.
And just so you know, it's not just us saying it. Larry Herb said he's not a fan of it early on in the generation. He's like, no, we don't use that term, and we won't use that term anytime in referring to our product.
Because it was Xbone, to get it? Like fucking it's screwed.
Yeah, it's not
a fucking good term. It's not a good abbreviation. It's XB1 or fucking calling it Xbox or fucking Xbox One. Are you so fucking lazy that you call it a fucking Xbone? How is that easier to put than Xbox or Xbox One or XB1? It's not. It's just fucking idiots. And you're a goddamn clown if you fucking call it an Xbone. There, I fucking said it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Why doesn't everybody do this? Especially the maniacs. You want to do something? Take that tweet, that crap. Was that a tweet that he said that in?
It's this fucking interview that he did on this site.
Is it in print, though? Is it quoted with him in print? Take the quote and instead of sending all the stuff they send of us to Phil, say, Phil, this is what this developer thinks of your product. This is my point. Like everyone keeps on pointing the finger at us. All we're saying is this. Why isn't anybody calling it the Piss S4? Or something else. And then you'd be like, well, you know what? Well, the Piss S4 is going to be coming in at 900p. And the Xbox One S is going to be 1080p. Nobody ever says that. But this is the 3rd, 4th, or 5th developer now that's done this. I got news for you. When that game comes out, stay tuned to my Twitter. It's going to be fun. Fuck those people. Like, honest to God. Like, fuck them.
I agree.
Screw these. And it's not about Mooch. You shouldn't say that. Mooch, you shouldn't. Yes, I should. Here's the thing. He shouldn't say that. I don't understand why we have to be the ones to be like, sorry about that, bro. Here's my $60. No, I'm not doing that. Listen, you understand what I do before I go buy a vehicle? I go to every single dealer that sells the type of car that I like, and they fight for me. Do you guys understand that? They fight for me. Why is it in the gaming industry I got to kiss Vince Zampella's ass?
Yep.
EA is fully supporting Titanfall.
Yeah. The same way I'm supporting fucking The Last Guardian. Listen, my point being is it's a mess. This industry is an absolute upside down mess. You know what they need to do? You know how we all get excited when a really good game developer comes over to your team or your company or whatever? We're like, yes, it's amazing. This guy came over. It's great. People should start applauding when a true business person goes into Microsoft and is like, I'm going to clean this shit up. I would light a match and fucking let off fireworks in my front yard. People are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'll be like, oh, this crazy business person from fucking Saks Fifth Avenue went over and now is working for Microsoft. He's going to kibosh the bullshit. Like, nobody kibosh. And people are like, Mooch, it's just games. It's just games. It's not just games. It's $1 billion with a B, $1 billion business. Believe me, when Phil has to go to the boardroom and he's got to talk to the people, whoever his superior is, nobody's like, Phil, it's just games. We don't care if you lose $85 or $65 million a month. That's cool. What game are we playing this weekend? No, it's a business meeting. There's business going on. Why is this guy from Sniper, whatever, a game I'll never buy, like talking shit about one of the platforms he's trying to sell to? I mean, it's absurd. You don't see it. Listen, I'm talking about everything from like ice cream stands, Taco Bells, McDonald's. There's a lot of people that go to McDonald's and only order off the dollar menu. They only order off the dollar menu. Are they less of a person than somebody who walks in and buys 18 double cheeseburgers? No. You treat the customer the same. It's business. You don't say 900p because I'm too lazy and then insult the brand. I can't fathom that. If I worked for Microsoft, of course I would not be this vocal, but I would be this vocal behind the scenes. I would call that guy up immediately and be like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, this is Mooch over at Xbox. How you been, buddy? No, good. Yeah, I just picked up the paper. Did you have a Freudian slip? Was there a reason that you said X-Bone? Yeah, because, we're actually sponsoring your game, and my superiors aren't really a big fan of what you said. We could really quickly, like, the check's in the mail, but we could just cancel that. Oh, no, Mooch. What I meant to say was, okay, well, do me a favor. Don't you have an article coming up with Eurogamer next week? Yeah, I'd like you to talk a little bit more positive and go ahead and retract the X-Bone, if you would, and say it was a Freudian slip. No problem, Mooch, and keep the check coming. That's what would happen behind the scenes instead of like, it's just games. It's just cool. Buy the game. Support people who are assholes. We don't do that in any category but gaming. And I mean, I don't know why. For some reason, that's the only thing that lights a fire up my ass is when this kind of stuff happens, because I deal with business so much. And there's so many people's hands you have to shake. There's so many babies you have to kiss. There's so many things you have to do to make business work. And for some reason in gaming, these people want us to buy millions of copies of their game, and they insult the brand that you prefer in your home. It's absolutely absurd. That's all I got to say.
I agree. And Mooch, I have to throw this out too, right? There's a lot of people, myself included, are buying TVs with HDR now. It's like a big thing. And so there's so few games that are offering HDR support. It's kind of a big deal. And really this a lot of people would be attracted to a game that is going to be offering HDR because there's a big difference, right? There is a big fucking difference. Like people are always saying, oh, is there really a big difference? Yes. HDR is a big difference. It looks brilliant. It looks really, really good. And so when you have a game coming out and you're like, well, we're not going to do HDR on that platform, that's like a slap in the face, and you're 100% right. We're the consumers. It's not crying over it or what. It's like, we're consumers. We're bringing it up. That's what we do. We're talking about something we're passionate about, which is gaming. We're spending money on these consoles, on TVs, on these games. We're the ones that should be being catered to right now, and they're not doing a good job of doing that. And for them to come out and call it the X-Bone and say, hey, well, we're going to do HDR on PC and PS4, what the hell is wrong with you? You just don't want money? You know what I mean? Like there's
look at people Look at people who make phone covers, right? Phone cases for cellular phones. Nobody in this entire 2 or 3 month stretch was like, here's our Apple iPhone 7 case. Oh, and here's our Samsung 7 Fire Shield in case your phone blows up. Case. Like, no, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, nobody does it. Like, it would be so easy for a company to make fun of the 85 million phones that are blowing up and aren't allowed on fucking planes right now from Samsung. But you know what? Nobody does that, because if you make a case for Samsung, you still want to make the other 8 million cases for their other phones that don't blow up. So you don't talk shit about Samsung. Do you understand? Like, you don't do that. And I know, and you know what? Listen, anybody that goes, Mooch, you're just on a rant and you're not really making sense. Okay, if I'm not making sense, listen, I've said this a million times. I don't think what Respawn did to the Xbox community is why it didn't do well. I think there's a lot of factors, but I will say one of the factors was the insult to the Xbox community. That was very much a factor. A lot of people still feel a little bit of gripe about it. And you know what? They have every right to be. Why do we need to continuously be insulted by developers and then feed them $60 a game? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you vote with your wallet, and a lot of people are doing that. And
where's the other part to this, though, you know, we're really critical of Microsoft and stuff, but as you see more and more of these games, you know, making HDR for PC and PS4, why are they not on the horn? Why are they not talking to these developers and getting this stuff to happen, though?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you bring that up because I did a video about this, and I do a lot of videos about stuff, and people were like talking to Phil and linking it. They're like, Phil, he's right. There's only 5 HDR games on Xbox One. And Phil was very political with his response. He's like, it's a new technology where, you know, a lot of third parties are on board with this. It'll probably take a little bit of time, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're going to have an HDR game, like, why is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare not HDR? Yeah. It's HDR on the PS4. Why is it not HDR? Why haven't
like a game in development that's making HDR for the other things? Why are they not making it for the Xbox One that we all know can do it? So, I mean, I get what Phil's saying, but I've already said that that's technically not true about its new technology. It's just new in video. It's been around for a while, actually, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
well, yeah, okay, because check this out. Like the Twitter, the official Bethesda one, they tweeted out, Skyrim remaster is going to be 4K native and HDR on PS4 Pro. And somebody tweeted them. They're like, well, what about HDR on Xbox One S? And they go, oh, Xbox One S is only for movies. You know, and I've seen people say that before. They're like, it's only for movies. And we talked about this before, Mooch, remember? And then Microsoft came out with that commercial last week. It's like HDR gaming. It's like they're reminding people, like, why are they forgotten about by developers and things like that? Like, that pisses me off because that's my console of choice. Like, I have a PS4 and stuff. You know, I want HDR gaming on my Xbox. I want Infinite Warfare HDR on my Xbox.
Here's the issue, and I would love to actually be in a closed-door meeting with a lot of the Microsoft folks and try to hash this out. See, here's the thing. The reason you see all this kumbaya garbage going on is Microsoft does need the third-party games to appear on their platform, right? That would hurt Microsoft immensely. However, it's really a two-way street because if you take Xbox and those third-party games aren't available on there, wouldn't that also, I mean, cut the sales in half for the other company? I mean, they really wouldn't want to do business only with Sony because Sony would be like, we're going to charge you an arm and a leg now. So, I mean, there would be less profit on the third-party developers, my point, if there's only one. So it's a two-way street here, and you never see Microsoft bash a third-party developer, but the third-party developers continue to bash Microsoft. And I just don't, for the life of me, get it. And I guarantee you, if we could actually hook executives from Microsoft up to a lie detector and we're like, all right, does it offend you when people say this? And they're like, no, it's great. We have no problem with it at all. The fucking needle would break on the fucking truth detector. I mean, it would just like squirt out and stab somebody in the neck. My point being is like they are just as pissed as like someone like me is. And it's not that I'm mad just because I don't have any stake in the game. I'm just baffled by the blindedness or the fake blindedness that we're presented with in the executive world. When these guys do that, why doesn't somebody pick up the phone and be like, guys, why would you say that? Guys, why would you say that? Yeah. So I don't know. That's the part. Doesn't that baffle you guys that like in no other business, the car industry, that's $1 billion business, if not more. Real estate world. I mean, real estate world, when you're talking about like a piece of property and you have two agents show up, those agents hate each other. Guess what? They're not going to talk shit in front of the consumer, the buyer. They want to talk the buyer into the sale, even if the seller and buyer agents hate each other because they want the deal done. And it's the same thing here. You don't talk shit when you have a deal. Like, that's a deal, even if it's not a marketing deal. They have a deal. This company making Sniper or whatever it is going to have a deal with Microsoft and Sony to sell on both platforms. Why would you insult the user base? I'll never get that. And that's the gaming industry. And you guys, you want to know something? You wonder why sales are down? They're hurt. They shoot themselves in the foot. When you do things like this, and they're all subliminal and weird things, these all attribute to the reason your sales are down. So when Sniper 3 comes out and it sells 85,000 copies and 20,000 on Xbox One, don't ask why. All you have to do, crap, is you can actually take a week off from Xbox Nation and just play this episode on repeat.
I wish I could do a rerun.
Right? Reruns. Yeah. Even if they got half the views, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Yeah, actually, I like that reruns.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
I'm still watching reruns of fucking Seinfeld. Why wouldn't I watch an Xbox Nation from a year ago?
Oh, I agree. Fuck yeah, dude. So okay, Sony hasn't mentioned anything about the PS4 Pro sales, but according to GameStop, they say PS4 Pro quote off to a strong start, took right back up after PS4 slowdown, according to them. I mean, to me, well, here's the interesting thing. They said they've seen strong demand for the console. The PS4 Pro is off to a strong start. And they say VR is generally on the shelves for less than 10 days. Interestingly enough, they admitted that PS4 sales were definitely affected by a slowdown before the launch of the Pro. So they're admitting that there was this big slowdown on these. Now, if you look at Japan sales, they went back down. I think that's only like 11,000 PS4 Pros sold. Now, you know what I mean? Like they had an initial jump, and now they're back down. So wouldn't Sony be ringing the bell and shouting from the rooftops that they sold a shit ton of these Pros? They're great. Like, here's the thing. If Microsoft wins November NPD, it might be over for PlayStation. And when I say that, I don't mean like, oh, they're out of business. I mean, they might not win another NPD. You know what I mean? They've done little to innovate on what got them to the dance. And I think that Microsoft is the one that's actually paying attention to what gamers want. And Sony was too busy trying to push shit down people's throat, you know, like resolution and things like that. And for me, I think that's why there's a lot of saltiness going on in the community right now, like the PlayStation fans and things like that. They know if they lose November, it's over.
Well, yeah,
you know,
I mean, there's the problem, right? Like the problem with the Pro, and why it's not, even despite all the media hype and all this other crap, is that it's a block that doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't do true 4K, at least not with a good enough fidelity graphics to make it worth running in 4K. And when you upscale it, there's artifacts and issues with that as well.
Well,
so it doesn't
TVs
fit.
Don't even work with
exactly. So it doesn't fit a lot of people's. It doesn't fit what a lot of people would buy it. Like, I mean, I don't know who they were trying to target market after that, right? Because if you're in a 4K TV, you're gonna want to play things in 4K, or if it's upscaled, the upscaler should be decent. But from the reports and everything that I've seen and what I've personally seen on the Pro, there's a lot of artifacting and a lot of weird graphical glitches and that sort of thing going on, even when you're just running in the upscaled mode that supposedly has the higher fidelity, textures and lighting and that sort of thing. So I really don't understand who they were trying to sell it to, because if you're trying to sell it to technical people, it's not nearly powerful enough. 4 teraflops isn't a big enough jump to be worth buying into.
Well,
I mean, it's really not.
Well, because they don't have any games. And Mooch, you were saying that all along. Great, they come out with this powerful console, but where are the games?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we're talking about the SNES launch. You're talking about anything. PlayStation 1. When you take a new console home, crap. Remember, I was like, return it. And you're like, no, Mooch, you can't help it. I got a new toy here. I got to play with it. Yeah. And I'm like, that's cool. But you opened it and you had nothing to do once you plugged it in. You even tried. You quickly made a video and you're like, I put Ratchet and Clank back on. And I got news for you. I'm sorry. It's not that good. You know,
I think they're expecting people to
fall for it.
Games, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, we got a patch for Shadow of Mordor. Like, hey, 2014 called. You know what I mean?
But yeah, here's the problem, right? Like the games that would get a lot of that would potentially maybe benefit from those patches aren't going to be getting a patch for it, right? Like The Witcher 3, right? CD Projekt Red said that they're not doing a patch for PS4 Pro, Scorpio, or anything. They're focusing on the future.
And even some of the ones that do get them are getting mixed results, like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Apparently, it's like mixed results, or they're having frame rate issues and things like that. So
yeah, I mean, and that's the problem, right? Like if you're a developer, do you really want to go back and spend your time packing in resolution patches and all this other crap into your old games that you've already sold, basically have sold your fair share of? I mean, is that really worth the extra time to sell, another couple hundred copies?
Zaire has a video out that he's doing now, and he's got something out that says, I don't know if these numbers are accurate. I'm just saying. He's
sabotage.
Right. He says, so PS4 Pro only sells 11,000 at retail for the second week.
In Japan, I think.
Oh, is that Japan?
I think that's what he's talking about. I think.
Okay, so even if it's Japan, Like, that's really bad, right? I mean, because you said yourself,
Yeah.
you're like, well, if Last Guardian does good, Mooch, it's really going to rest on the laurels of Japan. Well, Japan's not endorsing PlayStation like they used to, and
they're mobile. I mean, they do mostly mobile stuff,
right?
You know what I mean, like that used to be. If you look at like the failures of Japan as in gaming nowadays,
but everything's relative.
Yeah, Sony used to release their consoles first there.
Yeah.
You know, now they didn't get the PS4 until 2014.
Their whole culture
you know what I mean?
and gaming culture is like changed over there. They're not console oriented anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So they're really realistically more into like the handouts and stuff like that. And so you have where before, I don't know what the exact sales are of some stuff like PlayStation 2 over there, but I can guarantee you it's a hell of a lot more than what they were, what the PS4 is. You know what I mean?
But like I said, with me saying everything's relative, 11,000 in sales in week 2 over there. I mean, you can go ahead and do the scale up, scale down like they had here with those same numbers for the same thing for the PS4 original launch. I don't think the sales are good here. I've had, and I'll mention his name because he knows. Matty Beast sent me a picture of his local Best Buy. They had three pillars. I would say probably 54 to maybe 60 inches high of PS4s in a quadruple stack shaped like a pillar. Going down the aisle, all chock full. Nobody around them. They're just sitting there. Another person wrote me and said, Mooch, I went in and asked a local Walmart PS4 Pro, how's it doing? And they're like, haven't sold one in a week. Like, they're not doing well. The number is low. How low? I don't know. But it can't be to Sony standards. It can't be to what they told their investors. It's not good. There's a very legitimate chance Xbox One wins November. If they win November, it's disastrous for Sony. It is a problem. It's a huge issue because I think Microsoft's going to rebound in December. Microsoft actually has an exclusive coming out in December in Dead Rising 4. Not that that's like a game console seller, but it's just another chip to stack. You know, I mean, it doesn't end. So Microsoft's killing it with Xbox One S pricing. They're giving games away and controllers away. Their commercials are better. But that's the thing. You buy an Xbox One S, you go home with Gears, Forza, Dead Rising, right? I mean, Recore. And these games are all on sale right now. For $300, you're going home with like 3 new AAAs and a console.
Not to mention, most of them are coming with a 30-day EA Access trial as well, so you're getting all those games too.
EA Access as well. I mean, it just goes on and on. We could do a whole show on the benefits of Xbox One S, but I mean, the Pro's in a lot of trouble. Sony's in a lot of trouble here, and like almost to the point where now we're at the point where we always said, competition's good for both. Well, maybe we got a problem here. Sony's might go underwater quite, a lot more sooner than we thought. That's not good.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Like I saw people in the chat, they're like, oh, you're crazy, Crab, if they lose November. Listen, that would be 5 months in a row, and that's 5 months in a row with 3 of those months coming when Sony released new hardware. The Slim, the VR, and then the Pro. Right? So at that point, you have to say that there's a fucking problem. People are starting to wake up. And I think that that's a very important thing. I'm not hoping anything bad happens to Sony or the PlayStation 4. I'm just saying people are waking up and seeing that they were just like sold a bunch of bullshit, basically. You know what I mean? And at some point, let's look at this. NPD last month, another 100,000 win for the Xbox One. They won by 100,000 again. That's not small numbers. They've been beating the PlayStation 4 by these huge numbers. That's a large number. Think about this. When the PS4 was beating the Xbox One earlier in the generation, month to month, it was by 10,000, 15,000, sometimes 20,000. We're talking 100,000 wins here. Yeah. That's impressive. You know what I mean? Is the PS4 Pro going to make up that 100,000? I don't know if it will. You can still find them everywhere. It's not like they're sold out.
No. They were supposed to be limited quantity and this and that. Somebody wrote in the chat, well, Mooch, you saw those 3 stacks that are shaped like pillars because they're getting ready for Black Friday. Every year, Black Friday becomes more and more of just like a token day. Black Friday deals have been going on all week. Yeah. Like all week.
Like you don't have for 2 weeks.
You don't have to walk in. I'm sure they have doorbusters at like 5:30 or 6 a.m., but it's not the PS4 Pro. on the doorbuster.
Here's the thing, right? Like even for Black Friday stuff like that, they're never gonna have like stacks and stacks of consoles because it's always like a limited quantity they're selling at a cheap price.
Yeah,
I didn't see any like good Black Friday deals for the Pro though.
There are none. There are none.
There isn't any.
They're not really making that much money off that, so they can't lower it. There's only sales on the Slim, which might be the most pointless console ever created.
Yep,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Pay for a console that's a little bit smaller that takes out one of your ports. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, no, you don't need an optical port. Only, you know what I mean? Like, you probably don't even want to use a good headset or anything, right? I mean,
or a sound bar, sound system. Or...
Yeah, who cares about 4K Blu-ray players, right? We're all past that, right? We're
DRM, right, Sony? DRM.
Oh yeah,
now DRM is great. DRM is fantastic. 2013, it was the devil. Now it's the way of life. Thanks, Sony.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just change the subject really quick. Sea of Thieves Insider program. Very excited about this. Hell, I didn't get to watch. I watched the thing. Hellhammer was already signing up on his phone before the damn thing was even over.
Yeah, I was.
So, I'm impressed by this. I like the idea that they're doing this.
Is it too late to sign up, Crap?
No, go to Sea of Thieves /Insider, and then you sign in with your Xbox tag.
Do it right now.
It's a pretty lengthy little like questionnaire at the beginning.
Oh shit!
So.
Yeah, they want to know your blood type. They want to know all this stuff. It's like this long ass questionnaire.
Yeah, it's long. They're like, what kind of games do you play? How have you been in any beta testing before? Have you done this?
Yeah, how old are you?
Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm gonna stick to my guns and I'm gonna just not do it because you know what? I have a feeling it's gonna ruin it for me.
Mooch, you know what? If I were you, I would get into it just because it'd be cool if a lot of us get into it and can play it together.
I agree. I think that's what's pulling me towards it. But you know what scares me, Crap? What if we have a month and a half of us fucking building a ship and not doing anything on it? It's gonna kill me. It's gonna goddamn kill me.
Well, you know what they ask you? They want feedback, right? They're asking about, do you want to go questing? Are you more interested in playing?
So you're like a QA guy.
Yeah, it's a huge. Did you guys, She-Wolf and GKB? Did you guys sign up for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. What is it again? Sea of Thieves. What?
Sea of Thieves
/tester.
It's www.seaofthieves.com/insider. You want me to send you the link?
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So She-Wolf, why did you guys sign up? I mean, are you guys excited for this game as well?
I've always been excited for it, but I like signing up for any of these kind of things. I've always been one for like beta testing and all that kind of stuff.
I'm still mad I haven't got a Gwent code yet.
Yeah, we did like Fable Legends forever, so like
I've never even gotten into. I've never won a game of Gwent. Impossible. I don't have any idea. I just flip cards.
I just want to play it because I like CT Project Red, so I want to give us some feedback on it.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what? Hellhammer brought that up. He goes, "Oh, the last time Microsoft did one of these early access things was Fable Legends. It didn't end well."
Yeah, I mean that does give me a little bit of hesitation, and it's not really. It's really just because because of that. Like it's kind of like when you start having to ask basically consumers ahead of time before the game to get an idea. It's always kind of like I don't know. It always kind of feels kind of odd that people are doing that when they should just be confident in the product that they're releasing.
Well, you know what? I feel like by doing this, they want people to like. I'm with Mooch on this one aspect. I don't want it to be like Survival Ark. You know what I mean? Like that game
Build a
was
ship,
shitty. I know people like that game, but that game sucks. I hate to say it, that game sucks. It's terrible. Right? I don't want to do a survival game. Yeah. I want to go on quests with my friends. I want to build a ship, like I guess build a ship. That's fine. But I don't want to spend fucking weeks building a ship.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, like I want us to go, hey.
You know what my issue is? My only concern is we did this with Fable Legends. Like we got to sit there and we watched this game grow from everything, from where it started to pretty much what should have already been a finished game, if you asked me, and then it was gone. And I'm just worried that if they're going to do this insider program, that I don't know. I guess the letdown of possibly something happening to it, like that game.
See, that was my concern too, right? But at the same time, I mean, they might just be. I mean, it also is another thing too. It could just be another type of beta testing to try to get more ideas.
Well, I guess it all depends on like the feedback from the insiders themselves. If they're all like, there's something fundamentally wrong with this game, and they're getting a lot of that feedback, yeah, that's going to probably happen. They're going to push and delay the game and fix it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's fixing the game though and making it better for us. So.
I want it to be like quest filled. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like
MMO or something like that.
Yeah, you're with your friends and you're exploring and you're getting treasure and drunk and you know what I mean. You're having a good time.
City. Let's go rape and pillage a city.
Exactly. That's what I want. Like blow shit up and board people's boats and blow them up. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to do. To me, that would be like the most awesome game. But here's the thing: if you're gonna sign up for this thing, make sure that you want to do more than just play the game early, because so many people sign up for betas just I'm playing a game and they don't fucking review.
Well, wait a minute though, Crap. This is I think that people could say, hey, I want to play the game a little bit here too, because this isn't this. I mean, we're in November here, the end of November. It's December. This game's coming out in February, right?
Well, we don't know for sure.
There's a hard date yet.
Oh, there's no hard date.
No,
I thought this was February, March written all over it. Okay, my bad.
No, there was like a hint of a beta that was supposed to release around that timeline.
Oh, okay. So this is more of maybe a Q&A to help them out. Okay.
Yeah. So like people need to get in there and and tell them what they want. You know what I mean? Like, and
but what if we get in there, Crap, and it's like the same stuff that they've been playing at E3? How much could we help at that point with just that stuff? I'm hoping they open up more stuff so we can actually help.
Yeah,
like,
I'll complain. I'll complain like no other.
Well, I mean,
if it sucks.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I mean, I'm hoping that this will at least be a little taste of each thing that you can do in the game. Like, like ship battles. Like, even if it's just like one, like predefined one, just to get an idea of what it's like. Mm-hmm. A couple of the smaller quests. That kind of thing. Like, that's what I'm hoping it'll be like.
Yeah, because I mean, we don't know really what it is. That's the problem. Like,
I mean that's the problem too, right? Like we don't really know what it is. I mean, I guess from what we've seen, you could say it's almost MMO-esque.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Again, so if that's the standpoint and that's what it kind of is, then we definitely need to see some raid stuff or maybe mini raids or dungeons or something of that effect to see how that plays through, because that's really fundamental to these type of games.
Yeah,
people playing them. So.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, you know what? Look, I want to see what it's all about. I don't know if I would play this game to death like Destiny or something like that, because I wouldn't want to spoil too much. But I definitely would like to play it for a little bit, see if I can I want to play it with friends too. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I would advise people to fill it up, and then and give feedback. Like, hey, you guys need more questing. You need more of this, more of that, more of that. You know what I mean? I think that's something that I would be.
Sucks or that.
Yeah. Like look at what we did with Titanfall 2, right? We were like, that shit's too slow. And then they fixed a lot of that stuff. I mean,
fair.
Yeah. So I mean that's hopefully what I was wanting to do. Hey, Mooch, did you hear that PSN was down today?
I certainly did. I tweeted it out first thing this morning.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Here's the thing: they're not doing themselves any favors because they have this network that's really just shitty. Let's just be honest. It's super shitty. I'm not going to dwell too much on this, but PSN was down for a lot of people today. It's just, if you're a PlayStation fan, I would just love to know how you deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why people are so defensive of it.
I wonder how long it'll be down, around like the holiday season, Christmas, that kind of thing. Because, everything kind of goes down around that point just because you have the assholes out there who like to DDoS, and then you also have, just the influx of new people coming onto the network.
Yeah, I don't know that how could you be just a PlayStation 4 gamer at this point, especially if you like multiplayer games, when that is like the most unreliable network that I've ever, you know what I mean? It's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible. Original Xbox Online was more reliable.
I'm with you, Crap. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like, we're super critical of Microsoft and stuff, and it's way past time for Sony fans to be like, start voicing these opinions to get this stuff fixed, man. It's just gonna be better for you guys. Like, why are you not speaking up and saying things that you need to be saying?
Exactly. Like, and here's the thing: Microsoft mentioned at E3, it was just in passing real quick, but they're like, yeah, we're adding even more servers, right? You never hear Sony talk about PSN about, hey, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna do this, we're gonna finally, it's 2000, almost 17.
Hey, they're still working on the ability to change your PSN tag.
Yeah, hey, one day, right? Like, fingers crossed. 2017. I mean, shit, we've only been able to do that on Xbox forever.
They even have like devs come out with the betas and stuff and saying, "Hey guys, we were supposed to start the beta test today, but PlayStation Network's down." Like, if they're coming out and saying that stuff, like, you really need to start listening here, Sony, and listening to your fans and stuff like that, and fix the issues.
It's not hard to keep a network up, to be honest.
Well, hey, try telling Sony that, right? Because they don't seem to be able to do much about it, as far as and it's a bit frustrating. I can understand why people are kind of frustrated with that and things like that. You know what I mean? But to me, it's one of those shitty things that just it's like water's wet, PlayStation Network goes down. You know what I mean?
Is that it though? Is like everybody's just so numb to it now? It's just like why?
And that's kind of sad, isn't it, GKB?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. If I'm paying for a service, man, I want it to work.
Yeah, not just that, but I mean, everyone keeps the Xbox goes down for a half an hour. And the Xbox community is fucking sticking rags in the fucking people's car gasoline tank.
Pitchforks and everything else,
I mean, it's like, did you see that shit?
In the street.
that's because we're not used to our shit going down. So when it goes down, we're always like, damn.
Hell, we got Snoop Dogg coming out and being like, "Fix your shit, come on!" Like, what?
Yeah, hey Bill Gates, fix your shit, or I'm gonna get on PlayStation 4. Hey, good luck with that. Snoop.
Meanwhile, Yoshida wrote Snoop afterward and was like, "We're actually down right now, Snoop." So, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just everything is this business is so upside down. I've never seen. There's favoritism and there's bias in everything. Okay, it's everywhere in society, but in this one, it's just the cream of the crop. It's the best. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't get more biased in the gaming industry. Like the fact that Sony's PSN is down once a month for a long time, a short time. It's not. Xbox goes down twice a year. Fucking is mayhem. There's been people throwing old 80 sets TVs through old windows and shit in people's homes. Like, there's just riots. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm glad we do these shows. It keeps people kind of on their toes. And, it's funny. I thought for a while until that Sniper article came out today, or that crap brought to my attention. I thought after the whole thing that went down with the Respawn thing, I thought we'd see less of it. Apparently I was wrong. It's still out there. These developers just don't understand how to make money, and then they're like, "Well, we're broke," and you're like, "Yeah, you slapped your customers in the face. What did you think was going to happen?"
Yeah, it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. Hopefully they can get that shit worked out, because it's 2017 almost. You know what I mean? Like, it's sad that I have to keep saying that, but shit, come on. I also want to talk about Josh Holmes leaving 343 Industries.
Oh my god!
I know we talked about that a little bit, but a lot of people are freaking out over this.
No reason.
I was kind of ranting a little bit last night about it too, man.
Yeah, GKB, that'd be a good idea in case anybody didn't miss your thoughts on it. What is your thoughts on Josh Holmes leaving 343? In case if anybody doesn't know, he's like a pretty big guy at 343, or was.
Yeah. For me, man, like I was going, like I watched all the vid docs and everything that they were doing, like when they were developing the game, and every time you seen Josh Holmes, man, he was in the multiplayer with the team, like just drilling the shit out of that, making it the best, and it paid off, because the multiplayer in Halo 5 is just fantastic. It's like one of the best. So for me, I was always going like, oh man, this kind of sucks, because how is the multiplayer going to work now? I mean, and people in the chat were like, oh well, they're just going to take that over, but I came from the standpoint of, the person that's taking over for him, when somebody takes over, they kind of want to put their own twist on it, their own unique thing to it. And sometimes that could be really good, and sometimes it could be really devastating to the community. So I'm kind of, this kind of sucks kind of guy, but, I'm happy he's going to do whatever he wants to do. That's fantastic. But he's probably going to be missed for sure.
I have a different look at point of view on.
Here we go. Fight.
No, frankly, I don't give a shit that he left. I think I'm glad he did what he did. Thanks for the blueprint, and we'll see you later.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, he came in, he left his blueprint. You think everything he did is owned by Microsoft? Every single piece of code or piece of guidance he gave is Microsoft owned. So he came, he conquered, he left. And see you later. Because to be honest with you, I told this to Crap on a different show. Could have been Crossfire. I don't remember. I said, if Halo 6 comes out and 343 does a great, because he had nothing to do with the story. So they come out, they do a killer story, and the Halo 6 multiplayer is the same as this one, just more beautiful, if you will, in the Scorpio. Success. Yeah. Nobody cares. So he can go and make Flappy Bird 2.
But Mooch, you don't have this like stigma or this like, you know, apprehension or whatever from this new person taking over the multiplayer and putting their own twist on it, and it could be potentially worse.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right, but you have to understand something. If the right person's in power, which would be Phil, and they're overlooking hiring of somebody that high in their #1 studio, you're not going to bring somebody in that breaks Josh's fucking mold. You just don't do that, right? Let me put it this way. Do you know that Tim Cook was handpicked by Steve Jobs on his deathbed? You bet your ass he was. Because Steve Jobs knew that he had many, many meetings with him, Johnny Ives, and other people.
Yeah, but then
he said, you will not break the mold.
They take the headphone jack out, and now you got to buy new accessories and stuff. So I guess
that was part of Steve's plan. Steve has a 20-year plan, buddy.
That actually is very Apple-like. Because
it's very Apple-like, exactly.
Steve Jobs is very closed systems.
Yeah, my point being is Tim Cook was handpicked to be the next Steve Jobs. Now, whether you like him or not, do I think he's Steve Jobs Jr.? No, absolutely not. There's a little influence there from Tim. But Tim is carrying on Steve's wishes. Trust me, I bet you it's in a contract somewhere. And not just that, whoever's going to take over for 343 in the multiplayer will not deviate from the like the audience, the forums, the look at Xbox 448. He is a Halo like lover. He loves Halo. He's a follower. He's in love with the multiplayer. He would say, don't change anything. And guess what? They know that their people are happy, and they won't change it. Well, that doesn't mean if GKB comes in, he's not going to be like, hey, I like what Josh did. I was wondering if we could just tweak it a little bit like this. And if it's a really good thing, they'll be like, sure, let's try it. If it's a bad thing, they'll be like, no, we're not doing that, GKB. That's completely throws off the formula we have right now.
Well, to that effect, though, they came into the campaign, and you can have a debate as well. As like they changed a lot of shit in the campaign that a lot of people didn't like. So there's that too. Like
what?
You don't know that. Like, well, they came in and you played more locked than Master Chief, and you know people fucking hated that shit. Honestly, I particularly liked it. I thought it was cool. But people want to play more Master Chief, and that's fair.
Yeah, but they didn't break somebody's mold. That's 343's. That's their formula, and it's their studio. Like that's not. You understand?
But Halo 4 was their formula as well, and they still had a Master Chief campaign, is what I'm saying.
But it led up. But it led up to what they're like. When you have a planner, you're ready. Like J.K. Rowling. She didn't write like the first Harry Potter, and she was like, I don't really know what the fuck's coming on next. Like she knew, you have an idea of what's going to happen, right? You know, like you have an idea. So
you storyboarded it, right?
Yeah, when 343 had their storyboard, they literally said, we're going to do this. They didn't get to the specifics or the actual verbiage, but they have an idea mapped out.
But the outcome is still the same. Like, even though, like, you know, J.K. Rowling's write this book, doesn't mean the next book that she's going to write is going to be fantastic, right? So that's kind of what happened with Halo 5. Like, the campaign wasn't that great, but the multiplayer, like, you can't sit here and be like, you know, everybody on Halo 5 fucking hates the multiplayer. Like, everybody fucking loves the multiplayer. But when you talk about the campaign, they're kind of like, meh, you know, they're like, either some like it or some don't. But that's the same effect that could happen here going into Halo 6 is this guy could come in, you know, it could be a new team, you know, people leave, but 343 and go somewhere else. Like, you don't know. Like,
you're right. I don't know. If I did know, I would know the 6 numbers that are going to pop up from Yolanda Vega on the New York Lottery.
You need to share those with me, bro.
My point being is, right, exactly. But my point is, though, GKP, as much as you're right there, when you're talking about story in single player, your story holds a lot more weight in book writing, but it doesn't hold a lot of weight in matchmaking in multiplayer. Because all I'm really looking for is level design, and that wasn't his forte. And if it was, then they need to find somebody who's great at level.
I'm looking for that fantastic gameplay. Like,
you have it. It's already there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's going to transfer over into Halo 6. With every iteration of like multiplayer, even with COD, you've seen that too. They went to more of the futuristic, jumping around, faster pace. Like with each iteration of Halo, they do change things, and I'm still going to go on a limb and say this guy's going to put his own twist onto it.
Okay, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I just think that they're not going to deviate enough that's going to bother you. Trust me.
Maybe.
Trust me, they won't. They have a successful formula. There's a reason that McDonald's has had 85 zillion different types of hamburgers. Some win, some lose. But you know what they haven't touched since day one? The French fries, because they're fucking great. My point being, okay. So
Halo 4's multiplayer is a debate too. Like people didn't really like Halo 4's multiplayer.
I liked Halo 4's multiplayer.
You know what it is though, GKB? We have the most cynical and the most like ridiculous group of people in the gaming world, right?
We do. For sure.
Even on this panel, you have people saying Halo 4 was great. And you were like, Halo 4 was eh. And then some people be like, Gears of War 4 was eh. And some people like, Gears of 4 was great. You know, it's like.
But when it comes to Halo, like I have this thing, like I thought Halo 4's campaign was fucking phenomenal. I thought Halo 5's campaign was pretty damn good too.
So did I.
I would like to have played more Master Chief than Locke, but
absolutely
whatever. And I think their fucking multiplayer was the fucking greatest of all the Halo games, honestly, in Halo 5. And that's kind of what worries me for 6, like with him gone, because he was really instrumental in that multiplayer.
I don't think there's going to be that much of a problem. They have the basic formula down, just like Mooch said.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that he'll add his own twist or his own little touch. Whoever comes in,
it's not going to. It won't be detrimental. Yeah. And you know,
whoever's going to be taking his position is probably somebody that's already been working on the games or as a fan of the game or something at some point.
They'll probably end up grabbing the guy who does fucking Destiny's Crucible, will be the next leader of 343 multiplayer. You know what I mean? Listen, they're not going to hire me and you, GKB. You know what I mean?
No,
they're going to get somebody who's been doing multiplayer for a fucking long time.
Yeah, I mean, and the other point is that I mean, again, with a big high profile game, there's only so much you can change. Anyway, so I mean, before you start getting to the territory where programmers and designers and QA and that kind of thing are going to be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Look at Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 lost half of their creative everything: directors, art, this, that, story, people, this, that. They lost everybody in the world, and they're still going to win fucking Game of the Year on 8 different publications. So I mean, it's really that, especially when you're talking about just multiplayer. Multiplayer for Halo 5 is pretty much bronzed. It's already bronze. So somebody's going to come in and make more rec packs, or they're going to make a fucking new helmet to wear. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, not to mention, since Halo 5 is basically one of the MLG or esports games now, they can't change it too much anyways because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I do see GKB's point. GKB is not off.
But
his comment's not out there. It's very, very concise. My only thing is that I'm just saying and boy, I tell you, the gaming industry loves to prove me wrong. If anybody at 343 who's doing the hiring has anything to say, okay, when you hire the next person, you do have to evaluate them on Josh's. It is Josh, right? You have to evaluate them on Josh's work ethic and the way that he created things.
But also you got to look at the other thing too, right? Like Josh Holmes, I mean, he did great things with Halo, but look at what he did prior to that. And it's not like, I mean, so basically, I mean, what he did prior to that was nothing, special or great.
Right.
Designers.
Well, shout out to Lace Chucks in the audience. He says Chris Lee is taking over, the guy who worked on Halo Reach. People were saying Halo Reach multiplayer was stellar.
Because it was Halo 3.
Well, there you go.
Hey, yeah, look, I mean, and that guy's a long-time developer there. So you have, 343 Industries is hundreds of people, right? And I will say this about Josh Holmes. He was instrumental with the co-op stuff, like that 4-player co-op stuff, because I don't know if you knew this, Alheimer, but he was the guy behind, remember Star Wars Republic Commando?
Yeah.
He was the guy behind that. Remember, we were even saying, oh wow, this might even be better than Halo at the time. Remember?
Yeah, I actually stand by that. Actually, I think that game as a whole stands up much better. Like if they were to remaster it, would stand up much better up against, my personal opinion, anyways, against the first Halo.
Yeah, I mean that game looks fantastic. It does that 4-player co-op thing, and he brought that to Halo 5, which I think is good. But I'm with you, GKB. I really liked Halo 4's story. I liked the multiplayer in Halo 4. The part where I thought Halo 4 suffered was with the maps. They really separated the player base by releasing. I liked the rec packs that would drop, that you would earn. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I thought that was a good mix between getting the Call of Duty players into it and still keeping Halo players.
I like the class-based thing. I know that's like stack religion. I like being able to run by pressing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to upgrade. You can't have a game.
Like the Call of Duty thing, when you came from 3 and then you go into 4, it was just like a big difference there. And I think that's part of it. I just wasn't on board with it then. And then, 5 came out and I was just like, yes, this is what
I'll be honest. Like, I think 5 is probably, from my rating, I mean, I would put 5 second online multiplayer to 4 just because I liked what they did. I liked what they did with 4 a little bit better. But I mean, both are really good. I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, they were probably pretty close to equal. But I would say 4 edges is out just because it does have a little bit more.
Yeah, Halo being in the competitive e-sports world like they are limited to what I know they added sprint, whatever, blah blah. But like they are limited to the changes they can make because of the competition value.
Yeah.
I don't think they can go too wild. I mean, could you always be proven wrong? Absolutely. But
they're not going to go too wild in the course of one game, right? Like, I mean, look, people say like Call of Duty is part of the esports stuff too. And that kind of went crazy from like boots on the ground to jumping around, but that was slowly introduced too.
I think 343 knows that they have to worry about story on Halo 6 and just keep the multiplayer status quo. Like if you just keep multiplayer status quo, you know what I mean, with some great maps and you improve the story, Halo 6 is going to be dynamite.
Hey, I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? Like I think that I think that they've done. Yeah, the more Master Chief, I agree, but I hope that they keep like Buck and stuff in there too. I was like, I thought
I'm sure they will. Crap,
I'm sure his own game.
They only have to. Well, be careful with that.
Oh, She-Wolf, you're Team Buck, huh?
I'm always Team Buck. I'm like Team Buck in like everything. Even in Captain America, I like friggin' Bucky over I like Captain America. So I like Buck.
Anybody that's named Buck.
Yep.
Hold on.
Well, because come on, one, it's Nathan Fillion in Halo. You can't go wrong there.
My name's not
And then what?
I said I'm screwed. My name's not Buck. Fuck.
Oh,
that's
so
funny. Yeah, no, dude in the chat box, you can definitely see Josh Holmes worked on Republic Commando. That's why it's similar with the 4-player co-op stuff. You know, I'm not making that up. Did you guys see that?
Well, I brought that other guy too that was from Republic Commando in too.
Yeah. So that's true. But yesterday, right, I did this video and people like really ran with it. I guess it's funny sometimes to see people freak out. Like I was like, hey, what's up with Crackdown 3? Is it canceled? What's going on with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did this video and people like flipped out and like kept bugging Phil, like, is Crackdown 3 still in development? I was like, did nobody watch the video? Like in the video, I just clearly stated.
I warn you about those fucking titles.
I know.
Oh,
dude.
Man.
But anyway, so I was like, okay, listen, I know that people from that studio left, right? And we haven't heard anything about the game. We didn't get the beta like we were supposed to. They didn't even announce that the beta was pushed back, really. It was like this little quiet, half-assed announcement. And so in my own special way, my own little crap gamer retarded ass way, I got Phil to say, hey, the game's still in development, and he just saw a build. It's looking great. You know what I mean? That's the most news we've got from about Crackdown 3 all year.
Crackdown 3's got Scorpio written all over it at the earliest.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100%. But I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, sort of I was able to get like that's one of
I'm excited. I'm excited for Crackdown 3 because I'm hoping Crackdown 3 is nothing like Crackdown 1 and 2. I was never a huge Crackdown fan, but I think the game has tremendous potential. I mean, tremendous. Sky's the limit with that game. So that's a game that when people go, well, you know, when you guys all talk and get really hyped up about Sea of Thieves. Like I'm sitting there thinking I'm like Jerry Seinfeld in that pirate shirt, and I'm like, I don't want to be a pirate, and right, and so I mean, I'm a little bit more Debbie Downer on Sea of Thieves in a conversation, but Crackdown, even though I'm not a Crackdown like mega fan, I'm just like this game could be just stupid amounts of fun. So Crackdown's got potential, and I'm not even talking about the cloud-based. Molecular breakdown of buildings and this. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not like this super ability to jump high and like just take over.
You're a super cop. Not only that, one of the things I did come across was the debris in the multiplayer. It doesn't disappear. So when you're playing multiplayer and buildings get demolished, it doesn't disappear. That's phenomenal in my opinion. Fantastic. Like, look, I'm really excited about this game, and I'm glad.
Yes.
Like one of the things that annoyed me early on, I don't know if Phil was in charge at this time, but the announcement of some of these games I thought happened too far out. Yeah. You know, I much prefer how it will happen this E3, where
they decided to take the PlayStation route for a little bit, be like, let's announce this game is coming out in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it.
Okay,
go ahead.
I just want to point one thing out about the whole PlayStation thing that he was talking about. We were watching TV and 2 commercials came on, and I have to give like Xbox credit for like their commercial that they did. They like actually just showed the console and said what it did, and then showed the Xbox logo. But then like You have Sony that turned around and did like Spider-Man in their thing, and then they had like God of War in their trailer, and then they're like greatness awaits. It's like these games are not even out yet. You are misleading people thinking that these games are already on this console, and that's what they're gonna get to play.
Right. That's right.
That's a really good point. It's like Sony is like, hey, let's just get people excited about this stuff. Who cares when it's releasing? Where Microsoft now is like, okay, we're going to show you guys some stuff, but it's going to release within the next 12 to 16 months. And sometimes sooner. Like, look at the stuff they showed at E3. Dead Rising 4, Recore, Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Halo Wars 2, which is coming out next February, State of Decay 2. These are all games that are going to come out next year, and I'm glad about that. They showed Scalebound. I'm hoping that has Scorpio written all over it too.
Yeah.
Damn,
I'm excited for Scalebound.
Same here.
I'm hoping that game doesn't get canceled or delayed anymore.
Same here.
Oh yeah. Like I'm looking forward to like their lineup has me really excited for next year because there's a bit of that unknown because there's not a Gears or Halo traditional game coming out next year. So it's all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Like you have State of Decay 2, which I love the first one, but we all agreed it needed co-op. So you're going to get co-op. You know, we're getting Halo Wars 2, which looks phenomenal. I really like the beta.
Yeah.
We're going to get, obviously, another Forza game. What's going on with Killer Instinct? Are we getting like season 4? Like, I hope we do.
I would think so.
Talk about Killer Instinct for a while.
What? Who doesn't like Killer Instinct? Are you serious?
Somebody apparently doesn't like it.
Sorry, dude. I have it now, and it's not for me. I'm not gonna bash it. It's just I'm. You gotta understand. Like, and I think everyone on this
please
panel,
understand.
Please understand.
Yes.
That I played the shit out of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 as a kid. Like that was like what we played for like 2.5 years straight. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, whether you were Genesis or SNES. It doesn't matter. We played the crap out of those games. I just don't find any. If I wipe the achievement scale out of that game crap, you're not playing it. You're only doing it because you're just going from guy to guy and climbing up the ladder and just getting achievements. Like, there's nothing in that's like, I'm past the point where I'm like, hey, GKB, what are you doing right now? Not much, Mooch. What are you doing? Want to play me in a round of Saber Wolf versus some bony guy? No, like we're not doing
blasphemy,
that.
Dude.
It's not
blasphemy. I'm sorry.
It's pretty true. And you know the problem is that like don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people playing Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter 5 flopped. But like I just crap. You got to understand something. You take the achievements out, and that game's got even a half of the crowd it has now.
Dude, people like that game. That is a really good fighting game. That game got like here's the thing, and I'm being honest, Mooch.
Yeah.
I was sick of fighting games. I hadn't played them in a while. Like the hit detection was bad before this generation. They weren't using dedicated servers. People could just quit or jiggle their fucking lines and lag out, you know, and you'd get the loss. I hated it. Killer Instinct did it right. You have dedicated servers. If people do that quit bullshit, they can only play against other quitters. You know what I mean? I fucking love Killer Instinct. That's the game that I grew up on.
Right? Like
it's. I never like games that are button mashing, and that game is just button mashing. I went through the what do they call it? The dojo, and I went through with a couple of the players, and it's like, okay, the first few moves is not button mashing at all. You know, it's the same thing like Ryu's or Ken's fucking Hadouken and shit like that. And you're like, okay. And then it's like, now you need to do an ultra smack dab left right ultra combo, and you're like, all right. And now it's just like left upper right, A B, and I'm like, that's just fucking button mashing, dude. Like, you should hear people playing it in the background. Like Zaire did that one time. He was like, yo, what's up, dude? And I was like, just talking to him on Xbox Live. He's like, just play a little Killer Instinct, and all he heard was just like. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? You guys making pancakes? Like, what's happening? And he's like,
yes, because I'm sure that's the first sound that everyone thinks about when they hear Homer's.
I'm thinking of like a pancake like thing whipping around. It was just madness. And he's like, no, play a little Killer Instinct. I'm like, are you tearing buttons out? Like, what's? He's like, no. Like, it's just it's a mess. It's a glorified mess. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm not telling you it's not fun. I'm saying it's not fun for me. There was even parts of why I don't like playing the Batman games because I played Arkham City, and as you play that game on difficult and you went farther and farther in and you had like 80 fucking dudes around you, Like I was doing skilled moves and skilled combos, but then when there was like a group of like 13 or 14 around you, you're just like fucking X A B X X B. You're just like moving. It's just button mashing and praying to God you hit the Y or the pause between. You see like the little accent, like the guy's gonna hit you. Like it's just. I don't know. Like I guarantee it, crap. If I tell you right now, season 4 comes out and there's no more achievements, you're like, I'm done. You're done with that.
I don't know. There's obviously going to be achievements, but I mean,
well, yeah, of course.
I like the game. Yeah, I like the game. Like GKB, are you a fan of Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I mean, I like Killer Instinct. I suck at it. She-Wolf's really good at it. I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy that I'm really good at. But I have to say, like Injustice 2 is coming out. Man, that's going to be a phenomenal fight. Yeah, I can't wait for that one.
Like okay, so She-Wolf, you like Killer Instinct. Are you interested in hearing about a season 4?
Yeah, actually, I want to see, and I always like seeing what characters they bring out and what their story is going to actually be added to it. So, even for the fact that it's a fighter, it still has like the in-depth characters that you get to know and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed. Plus, it's kind of one of those things that like if you're just having like one of those crappy days where you just don't want to like actually think too much about a game and you want to just kind of like just go kick something or just whatever, you can just like go into this game and go against like either an actual person or just against the AI, and you can just sit there and punch somebody. Like you literally don't have to think too much about it. Just like randomly hit buttons until you like kill it, and then it's like okay.
And the defense rests.
I'm with you, Crackdown. Like
she just said what I just said. You just had a really rough day, and you don't really feel like playing a different. You play that, and you can punch your controller.
No, I mean, look, I'll say it this way, right? For the average person, but that's pretty much any fighting game, though, for the average person, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's not a
right? Like,
right, absolutely.
Like, I mean, but the thing is that Killer Instinct is still like one of the #1 games on the circuit for fighting games, which is a small,
okay.
I'll
give you that, Hellhammer.
But very big, like as far as people are very dedicated to what they do. Killer Instinct as a whole, if you actually want to play it properly, because I play through the stuff and I go through the ladders and stuff to get the few achievements here or there. Like I haven't even finished that though. Like I actually play online when I play it most of the time.
He refuses to play me though.
That's because
I love how his wording is though. If you actually want to play it properly.
Well, it's true though, right? Like, look, I mean, if I'm sitting there and I'm just playing on there and I'm just casually wanting to play, I'm just basically hitting buttons or whatever, right?
I do kind of agree with what he means by that because I mean,
but if you're playing like in a tournament or against somebody online, like in a serious kind of match, you're actually like, you actually have to legitimately sit there and block. And
well, you know what we should do, guys? She-Wolf, this is actually to you. She-Wolf, you should set up like a community game night once we get what is that new thing we're getting? Yes, the brackets, the game, whatever it is there. And we should do like Killer Instinct, and then it's like, you pick your player, and that would be fun as hell.
I'll be right.
There you go.
I'll be out first round.
Like when you actually have to put the sense into like actually making the combos,
yes,
and achieving something in it. That also feels great too. Like there's been a few times where I was trying so hard to get one of Orchid's finishers. And I just could not hit the stupid button right, and it was driving me crazy. And then when I finally got it, I was so happy that I finally friggin' achieved it. There is those aspects of this as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right too. I mean, it's an awesome feeling when you get that ultra combo at the end, or you get the that's.
Let's be honest. It's always fun to be like beat up your friends as well, like just to say, "Ha, I just kicked your ass."
To Craft's point though, like I agree with him. Like I think KI is one of the first ones that done the dedicated servers, all that netcode and all that stuff, and they're pushing like the fighting genre forward. And I think others need to adapt that. And
they did that sort of with Mortal Kombat because I'm with you. Like I was done with fighters GKB last gen. I was done, and then this gen, Killer Instinct was a launch game. I got into it. I was like, hell yeah. I really also like Mortal Kombat. I think that's phenomenal. That's got a shit ton of content.
Yeah.
I do wish though that they took like the story base that they had in Mortal Kombat and like remember that that graveyard thing that they did in Mortal Kombat. I wish they would like take that and actually like interpret it into
stuff and everything.
Yeah, and like you can actually like go into like caves and all this other stuff, and then you fight like the battles there or whatever. Like it's just I thought it was a little more interesting, and then the fact that there was actually like the whole story base almost like a campaign kind of thing with the characters. I thought that was really neat as well, and I wish they would kind of incorporate that into Killer Instinct, because I think it would give it that little bit more of a push to
little bit
just
more?
that it's
Little bit more.
I knew you were gonna say something. I knew I wouldn't
Send
be able
that shit to Hades.
I don't know if you guys are gonna. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear this, but I want you guys to guess what game I'm playing.
No Man's Sky.
Wait, hold on, wait, guys. Here's another hint. Here's another hint.
It's gotta be No Man's Sky, bro.
Yeah.
Good guess. Good guess with the frustration. No, it was Killer Instinct Season 3.
You're a
Good
hater.
guess, though. No, I'm not a hater, dude.
You're
It's
a
just
hater.
It's button mashing to death, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing.
You have
wanted to
the
talk-
same love
Go
for
ahead.
for fighters as you do as indie games. Like,
Yeah, I guess you're there.
Don't
with
get me
that.
triggered.
I can't argue with that.
We're not, we're not going there. We're not doing it.
I will talk about one other thing before we go. Ubisoft said they're going to stop selling user-based dividing DLC from now on. They're just going to sell. Basically, they're going to do kind of what Gears did, only do DLC for like looks, and they don't want to like divide the user base anymore from maps or content or anything like that. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that? I like this. I wish everybody would do it. Sure, put in some cosmetic shit for people to buy.
great idea, but the thing is, Ubisoft needs to fix their games before they
Exactly.
decide to.
Yes.
By the way, everybody can pick up.
To contributing to this, because of course, you know, telling fans this, they're going to be like, okay, that means like more free maps and stuff like that, and they're going to be, you know, focus more on just like the I guess the lower base end of add-ons, but. And all that's great, even though you have all this stuff that, you know, you're going to be giving to fans, the base game needs to be fixed first. It needs to come out working where we can actually play it and enjoy it.
Division? Oh.
Yeah.
I like how people are like, Mooch, hey, the new DLC on Division looking pretty good. You see on there?
See you on there, Mooch.
See on there?
Yeah.
The fuck? I'm so done with that game. I don't know who the fuck. There's so many games.
I
Look at the games we
reinstalled
talked
that
about.
game. I actually did reinstall that game.
Mooch,
on
you're
my
gonna be
Xbox.
back on that game and very shortly,
But
Mooch.
you know what's funny though? I went to play it. I actually went to try it, and soon as I went to log in, it wouldn't let me connect to the servers. I was like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Welcome to the Division.
So I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Well, you know what? Like for me, that was a hell of a week when that game came out. Hell of a week.
It was.
Yeah,
Great
it
week.
was.
Yeah,
Hey,
Good
look at
times,
it this
good
way.
times.
We all met because of that game.
that's true. That is true.
That is true.
But I'll tell you right now, like, if you want to get into it now, like, hey, Mooch, where'd you leave off? Oh, I don't know. My gun's like 65,000. Oh, bro, we're at 385,000 for a vest. You gotta fucking play the Dark Zone alone. Fuck that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Division's
Yeah. Well, the Dark Zone was fun those couple of times until
Yeah,
it was like
great.
the no
The
crime
Dark Zone was only fun when it was the beta because nobody cared about killing each other, so you never knew who you could trust.
Once you got to that, what was it, level 20 or whatever it was?
You get to level 30.
Yeah, but once you got ranked into the high level people, remember, like when we were out there, just when we were like level like 15, 18 or whatever, like people would actually kill you. And I remember when it was like Snipes, a couple other people were like, yeah, once you get to that level, you'll be able to go out there and it'll be awesome. When we go out there, people are like, pardon me for bumping into you.
Yeah,
I
I was
thought
like,
it was fun at all. Like once the game actually released, it was actually one of the most boringest spots to go to. You had to worry more about the friggin' AIs that were like overpowered instead of the actual like players killing you.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to friggin' touch each other because everyone wanted to keep their gears. So it became irrelevant. Like irrelevant to go out there.
Hey, I remember my buddy Grave. He goes, "Guess what, guys? I'm gonna call in an extraction, and I'm just gonna wait out in the middle because nobody's gonna try and do anything." And he did, like literally, he did. He just called in, and people just looked there. You know, once in a while, Hellhammer was the one that would try to start shit. He's like, "I'm gonna just give him a desk pop. I'm gonna give him a couple pops." You know what I mean? We're like, "Don't do it, Hellhammer." He's pop, pop, pop.
Because you had to make it interesting. That shit was boring.
Yeah, you know, I can see that. Like for me, the game's okay. Like the DLC, I don't know. That's not something that I'm gonna be interested in. Or I mean, are you guys gonna pick it up or?
Nope. Wait, you mean Division DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, nope. Nope, not even close, man. Like, no, it's not an asshole. It's called a wise consumer, and what do they say?
I already have the season pass, so I already own it.
Oh, okay.
Fool me once.
It
is crap though. It's like
first on Xbox.
It's like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, dude. I'm not fucking buying that shit twice. I'm not giving them. I'm not even putting that. I'm telling you right now. If I didn't actually got, I forgot. I'm pretty sure I have it uninstalled, and I would like to fucking
honestly, I would try like Ghost Recon before I would like. Right, that's their new one that was supposed to come out, but then never got a release date.
Yeah, I think Ghost Recon's coming out next year, but I hate Ghost Recon games.
I know, but it looked so cool the way that you could actually like go around with your friends and like actually like play. I thought it was neat. I thought it was a cool concept.
Yeah, I could see that, but Ghost Recon games haven't really ever been my thing, so I don't really know.
We'll change your mind.
Maybe. Anyway, thank you guys all for joining us. Mooch, since you weren't here, so what do you got going on? I know we got something big going on for the hotly anticipated MNC Mornings, but low rating MNC Mornings.
No, we have MNC Mornings to do it. We're giving away Battlefield 1, brother.
Battlefield 1.
Whoa,
I mean,
huge.
hell, who wouldn't want to win Battlefield 1, right? So all you got to do is call in MC Space Mornings on Skype and leave a goddamn voicemail, and you're fucking entered to win. Let's see if we can actually get more than 8 people to call in, huh?
Yeah,
amazing.
I know, right? Well, I gotta be honest.
I already got it.
Crap wants to go from like a show that just starts to the Tonight Show. I think we're doing pretty damn well. We've had over 10 voicemails a show. We're getting somewhere between 8 and 10 calls. I mean, we're finding ourselves crap that there's so many people that are participating that we're almost fitting in like 3 or 4 voicemails in the last 20 minutes because we're doing every show's over 2 hours, and it's only because football. Like when football's not on anymore, we're gonna probably even go longer.
Yeah, marathon 4-hour show.
4-hour show, but they just go by so quick in the morning. It's different than
they do. Plus, when people call in and shit, like that takes up a lot of time and really dictates the direction of the show. But yeah, so we're giving away Battlefield 1.
Yes.
Which is huge.
I got to plug Crossfire too, buddy. We have Crossfire 7:00 on Friday. Should be a really good show. A couple of great guests coming up, and believe me, it'll be these subjects we talked about and a few more. Believe me, even with the holiday tomorrow, some jackass developer will say something that'll piss me off. Just
absolutely. So everybody watching, still almost 300. Hit that like button as a thanks for everything we all do.
Thanks.
Yes. Give your thanks to Xbox Nation and make sure you subscribe to all these guys and check out their content and stuff like that, because look, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Everybody's got shit to do, but they came here to entertain you guys. So give us a thumbs up, give us a thumb in.
Give them a thumb.
Yeah, exactly. And GKB, what do you got going on, man?
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody that celebrates that. That I hope you guys have a great holiday and all that stuff. I do want to say
everybody should celebrate that in America anyway.
Yeah, America. I mean, there's other people that watch us, so I'm just saying whoever celebrates.
True that.
We got a couple other things going on, man. We have the Video Games Awards.
I vote for Crapgamer.
Yeah, go ahead and vote for whatever you guys like.
Vote for Mooch.
It's gonna be cool. It's all for you guys. And we're doing something else really, really special for like around the holidays. There's people less fortunate for us. There's this Toys for Tots drive and stuff. We're trying to get people to donate a bunch of toys for less fortunate kids for the holidays so they can have a great Christmas. If you guys do, go ahead and send us a picture of you donating. We're gonna put you up on the wall, and we're giving stuff away for donating, and it's all for a good cause to help out some children. So please help us out.
Awesome. That sounds like a damn good cause. Are you guys doing like the shop podcast or anything?
I don't know if we're doing that this weekend or not. I got to talk to Blam, but yeah.
What about okay, cool. What about you, She-Wolf? What do you got going on?
Well, I know we talked about the awards, but you can find the poll on Twitter. Right now, it's just the nominees, guys. So just write in who you would like to nominate for all of these, and then we'll take the 3 or 4 that have got the most nominations. Votes. Yeah, nominations. There you go. The most nominations, and then on December, I think the 6th, that show will announce the nominees, and then you'll be able to vote from there until I think just a couple days before the 27th, and the winners will be announced on the actual award show. So make sure you guys listen for that, so that way there's actually a list that people can actually choose from. So yeah. Other than that, Console Corners on Tuesday. Ladies' Night is going to be on Monday. And then back here on Xbox Nation. You can find me on Twitter and Xbox at XShewolfX. It's with a U, not an O. So, yep.
Is there a game night this Saturday? Because that's what everybody wants to know. And if so, what game?
Yeah, it should be.
I'm hoping so, but with the holidays, just kind of have to... Like, I'm still hoping. I may just, like, I don't know, put it as Doom or Call of Duty or...
We can't
Don't say Doom.
That's cursed. It's cursed.
No, that's cursed, right? It's cursed.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll just do Call of Duty or Battlefield because they usually do really well. And with the holidays, don't know exactly what everyone's doing because people may be away or whatever, so...
Yeah, that's true. So, Hellhammer, what the hell's up, bro?
Can I say one last thing quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say
I want to shout out my toilet.
No, it's... I'm sure Mooch is kind of in agreement with this. Xbox Addict, I hope you get better. He's in the hospital for Thanksgiving, so I just wanted to say we all hope you get better, and it really
we
sucks.
hope you feel better, bro. Yeah, he's like
better Addict.
Man,
yeah,
hope you feel better, man, and happy Thanksgiving. Hope you feel better for sure.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I kind of forgot about that.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Make sure you guys are, no matter, even if you have it bad, man, always there's somebody that has it worse. You know what I mean? So yeah, just be thankful and all that good stuff. Hellhammer, what do you got going on? Is your New Year's resolution to do a video on your channel?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I plan on putting the video up this weekend, hopefully. So.
This weekend, ladies and gentlemen, which means no, it's not happening.
Oh, no. Right. There'll be a video going up there.
Is it an exposed video?
Possibly. I mean, why not? I mean, I have the real dirt on Crapgamer.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the real dirt, Hellhammer. Yeah, Hellhammer has it. But, yeah, so anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to all these people. You guys have a good Thanksgiving. We're happy to. I'm thankful that we're able to entertain you guys and you have a good time and you're still watching. So yeah, enjoy your guys' holiday. Have some fun. Be with your families and all that stuff. Get some gaming in.
Lots of booze.
Exactly, and we'll catch you guys later. Thank everybody, and I want to thank everybody on the panel for spending your pre-Thanksgiving with me. I know you guys all had better things to do. So.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thanks, you guys. Rack them up. We'll catch you guys next week.
See ya.